Welcome, everybody, to the Barony of Olives. Good to see you, family. Good to see StreamPunks back again. We are back live playing Changeling, which is really nice. We did some live play last Monday night. We did Monster of the Week, which was completely fun and absolutely absurd. And Gina, if I haven't gotten I don't think I got a chance to I usually GG everybody at the end of our game sessions. I didn't get a chance to tell just bravo to Joey. Like, really well done. Yes, well done. Lots of good play. So yeah, if you guys didn't catch our show last week, we filled in our spots last week with a one shot of Monster of the Week. This week, of course, we're back to the Barony of Olives. But if you want to check out the Monster of the Week one shot, we are trying to put together the second part of that game because we had way too much fun doing that. And Sam, by the way, I'm going to say live on air, thank you for coordinating that. That's very nice of you, producer Sam. I appreciate the hell out of you for trying to coordinate getting us all together to play that second part. Acting all surprised, but they were doing that, everybody. So anyway, let me go ahead and get the announcement that I have out of the way. So for those of you who may or may not know, the StreamPunks, you can support us on Coffee, is primarily where we do a lot of our interaction with our supporters, that, of course, will get you into the Discord. One of the tiers of that we have is the SuperPunks tier, which allows for story points, which allow you to basically donate or create story points for the players to use in game. We have a couple that I've already gotten requested to use tonight, so we'll be seeing that. And as a quick refresher, story points can be used to gain a specialty for a role. Specifically, it will let you add an extra die to the roll, and 10s will explode. They count for 2. So that's pretty handy. You can also spend them the way willpower is spent to avoid botching a roll. And the last one is you can stave off banality. You can spend a story point. If you were going to gain a point of banality, the glamour given to us by our family staves off the banality to the characters. So it does not come into effect, which is going to be super handy because as a reminder to the players and as an educational tool for all of our viewers, if ever these changelings exceed their glamour rating, their temporary banality, if the banality ever exceeds their glamour rating, they start slipping into the mists and forgetting who they are. So banality is bad, and we want to avoid it. So thank you for that. Gina looks amazing. All right, so the last announcement that I have, too, is that we have a goal that just unlocked on the Coffee account. Thanks to all the supporters out there that kicked in for that goal. The StreamPunks Coffee account hit we've hit 2 goals now. So we hit one that unlocked an AMA that Eliza did on our Discord, which was awesome. And a lot of really good questions on that AMA too. The second one that
finish the other questions. I just had to take a break because they were very good questions. They made me think hard.
That's fair. I usually think, this will be a breeze. I love to, you know me. I rattle my Brome box all the time, but sometimes I get some really good questions. I'm like, shit, I don't know the answer to that one. I have to think about that. In this case, though, I'm lucky. I dodged an AMA, and instead, I'm giving over some GM notes. In other words, on the Coffee, you guys are going to get a chance to get some updates about NPCs that I have created, and I'm going to go ahead and say that they are player safe. If you guys are interested in knowing more, the players will be allowed to read them too. Don't feel like you can't read them. But I'm going to give a couple of paragraphs worth of notes, GM notes, that are going to be made available to everybody that I scribed when I was creating a lot of the NPCs. And some of these NPCs are signature characters. So that's my announcement for the evening. I don't have anything else. Does anybody else have announcements?
Hey, if they're player safe, can you tell us when we read them who we learned this stuff from so we know whose perspective it was?
Yeah, I mean, I think what I'll do is I'll just treat it like it's because y'all have been around for a couple of months. So what I'll do is I'll just say you've picked it up here and there from various members of the courts. I mean, you don't attend court too often, but I would say, especially with all the motleys out there that like to talk shit or like to explain who this person is and hey, don't approach this person, that kind of thing. I'll give you notes. Maybe Sam, you just give me an idea. Maybe what I'll do is I'll write these notes in character and actually list which changeling is much like White Wolf does in their books when they give you opinions on kits. Cool.
So if you read any from my character, just know that
no, I won't use your characters.
Info.
I won't use your characters. I'll use NPCs. Eliza, what did you have? You had a question. You had this thing you wanted to announce.
No, I had an announcement. Since we're live, I can confidently say later this week, I will be in Chicago for Mission Chicago. So if anyone is going, come find me. I'm going to be at the Women at Work booth a lot of the time. I'm also on a few panels, one of which with the lovely Bunny Gordon. And I'm also going to be running some games. I just got confirmation today, Saturday morning. So I'm going to post the sign-up sheets tomorrow or Wednesday at the latest. There's limited slots. So if you are going, or if you know someone who's going, tell them to sign up as soon as they can. Saturday morning, I'm going to be running some Star Trek Adventures TOS games.
Sweet. Oh, yeah.
Yep,
Awesome.
Yep. I'm excited. And that's oh, and then Wednesday I'm going to be playing in Call of the Netherdeep on dndbeyond.com.
Nice.
Sweetness. What time is that?
That's at 3 p.m. Wednesday.
3 p.m. Wednesday.
For the next several weeks.
Awesome. I'm writing this down because I need to catch up. All right. I know you probably have an announcement. Yeah, Bonnie?
Yeah, it's very similar to Elisa's. I will also be in Chicago this weekend for a Star Trek mission. I'm doing panels with Elisa on Friday, and I have a voiceover panel on Saturday evening. And then on Sunday, I'm really hoping they find a way to tape this, but I'm going to be playing D&D with the Discovery cast.
Yeah, I love those kids.
Disco does D&D. Discovery does D&D. It's going to be so much fun, and I'm excited, as the lovely Sam would say. And for those of you following the updates on my album, thank you all so much for continuing to support and follow it. It's coming along amazingly, and I have a ton of updates that you can check out, like via the Kickstarter page or Library Bards Patreon, and more to come. Oh, and I opened up a backer kit thing, so people can actually, like, whoever missed the Kickstarter can like go and like order pins and stuff on the backer kit if they missed out on the merch and wanted to jump in on that, or I don't know, get a poster. I don't know what's happening.
You were doing so well.
I know. I was hoping to have it done by the end of March, and then I realized that was way too ambitious, because when I do a project, I go big or go home, and I also don't know where I live. So I went really big, and the songs are getting more and more elaborate and amazing, and I have duets, and Jason Charles Miller is on it, and Greg Griffin is on it, and everything is coming together beautifully. It's just taking a little bit longer than normal because it's a lot.
And happy belated birthday, Bonnie.
Thank you. I had food poisoning. Sorry I couldn't join y'all last week.
It's okay.
Yeah.
I had food poisoning. So way to ring in the 36 years old.
Literally had to be like, Bonnie, you're not playing. Go rest.
I was like, yeah, Eric called me and I was like, I can do it. I can do it.
No, Bonnie.
I can do it. I'm a Pooka. I feel fine.
I'm not sick at all.
Yeah.
All right. Any other announcements then? Nothing. Okay. Yes, Sam.
I actually do. Yay! There is a lovely show on Demiplane RPG, GM'd by Deborah Ann Wool, called Children of Erte. It just had its 3rd episode last week, and they're doing a fun thing whereby on the 1st Tuesday of every month, in lieu of their episode, they have an after show. Y'all might be familiar with the notion of such a show. And it's called On the Erte because they let me name it, and I'm garbage. It starts at 6 p.m. on Demiplane RPG Pacific time. Please come check it out. I'm interviewing Deborah Ann Wool, and she tortured her players on purpose in the most delightful way, and I get to ask her about it, and I even if not for that, but for that right now, I get to play live with all of you for all of these beautiful reasons. I'm so excited.
Well, that's a good cue. I think it's time to jump back.
I got one more I forgot. Oh, sorry. Oh, so right after this show, go to Groove After Dark or something. Look on my social. I tweeted it. There's a show tonight that I was a guest of. We pre-taped it so I could be here live. because that's usually live. And go watch that. And if you miss it, it's okay. It'll be up on YouTube after. But it was a really cool interview, and it's a music show. Bye. You'll get some sneak peeks of my album.
Oh, GM snippet tonight.
All right. God, fine. We can finally play now. Jesus.
Calm down, Knocker.
Sorry. I know I'm already getting into character. We should probably get to the dreaming then. Let's go ahead and start tonight's game of the Barony of Olives. Making bacon pancakes. Mix some bacon in and put it in a pancake. All right. Let's go ahead and jump back into Point Cassida. All right. There's some shenanigans happening somewhere right now in Point Cassida. Not where you are, Ruby. Where you are, you're packing up after a day of substitute teaching at Point Cassida Elementary School. It's been a couple of days now. Don't, Sam. It's been a couple of days now of you basically busting your ass and covering one of the teachers who came down with food poisoning on her birthday. And I feel like I could relate to that. I don't know why.
Yeah.
Ruby has been covering that teacher's class. And luckily it's your favorite class because it's got your favorite kid in it. You're completely unaware, as you've been working hard these past couple of days doing your part-time job, that in the town center of Point Cassida, your motley is in the middle at this particular moment in your timeline right now is in the middle of fighting a Nervosa in the middle of downtown Point Cassida.
They're doing great.
Right now, in this very moment, Holly has ramped off of a curb and in front of an oncoming UPS truck. Right now, as that is happening, Ruby, you're closing a manila folder and putting it in a desk. The classroom is emptying out as most of the kids are starting to head home, except for one child. Small girl, about to turn 7, who is striding up to you with a big smile on her face and what looks like construction paper in her hand. You have been watching Jazzy for the past 30 minutes, has been brimming with excitement as it creeps closer to the bell ringing and everyone going home. You've seen this behavior from her before. It means she's looking forward to stopping at the teacher's desk once school lets out and is making sure you can see the tactics and the strategy playing through this little girl's mind as she strategically positions herself, taking just a little too long over at her cubby with her backpack as she's pulling it off, making sure that she's the last kid in class, watching as everyone filters out, kind of pretending that her books are stuck in the backpack so that she has to linger for just a little bit longer and a little bit longer. One of the kids stops and talks to you, so she drops a pencil on the ground. That kind of stuff. Kind of just stretching it out, vamping like a pro. And After all the kids start filtering out, her demeanor shifts dramatically as she zips the bag, puts it over her shoulders, and comes charging up to you with a piece of green construction paper in her hand. Now, before we continue this encounter, it's important to note that when we created these wonderful Kithane, that I had the players create NPCs that were meaningful to them. And Bonnie created a young dreamer named Janice, who goes by the nickname Jazzy, a little kid that she substitute teaches for. And you've spent some time with Jazzy, so much so that you've cultivated a relationship with her. You've encouraged her. You've encouraged her to draw. You've encouraged her to sing. You've encouraged her to do things that other kids are making fun of her for. Because in her is a spark, Ruby, and you can see it. This kid, more than the other kids in class, she's got some glamour. Not only that, but her banality rating, strictly speaking in a rule sense, she's a dreamer, 100%. And you have been cultivating that as much as possible. Just being around her, you and Pipsqueak look more vibrant. This child's sheer imagination and adoration for make-believe and thinking about what if, just being in her vicinity. I mean, it's already kind of perked up when you enter the elementary school. You have an entire building filled with kids that are talking about last night's Star Wars episodes that they stayed up way too late watching, and things that they're like the latest Magic set that just came out. All the things that are happening in an elementary school. That is going to be a fertile ground for a changeling to just kind of bask in. But this kid in particular is a cut above the rest. And she has taken an intense adoration to you, Ruby, where all the other kids just kind of think you're the quirky, weird teacher with all the weird jokes and says the silly things. She yes-ands every time you say something absurd and goes along with it. As she's approached you, the reason why I've said all this is because she is the dreamer that you created when you created Ruby, Bonnie. Mm-hmm. I'd like you to tell me, what does Janice look like?
Janice has she has blonde hair, but it's never her. She always shows up at school extremely put together. Her parents are very strict. Like, she always has like the pressed clothes. Like, she always looks perfect. Her hair's always perfect. Her bow's always perfect. By the end of the day, her hair is like a matted mess. Her little tie on her school uniform is always a little like cockeyed. Like, her shorts or her pants are always wrinkled. One shoe's always untied. So by the end of the day, it looks like she went into like battle all the time, which makes her look even cooler. And she always ends up she's left-handed like Ruby, but so whenever we use anything with crayons or paints or markers, her entire arm and hand will get completely colorful, because when you write with your left hand, you tend to smear ink as you go, as any of you who are left-handed know. And so her left arm is always like splotches of purples and blues and pinks and greens and yellows. So she always looks like, it's almost like a half and half. Like her right side is kind of always like still kind of put together, because she she will straighten herself up. But the left side, right, where she's like writing and drawing, vigorously, or, gets her hair caught, like maybe in something that she's working on, or gets glue in something. So like her left side is always like colorful and covered in stains and messed up. And she's awesome. It's usually the left shoe that's untied as well. So yeah, I think it's very, very much a Two-Face. I
was gonna say thing. You're basically describing an adorable 6-year-old Two-Face. Like, one side of her is just pure chaos, and the other side is what the parents saw when she left the room that morning. She approaches you with that green square of construction paper, and it's something that you've always kind of worked on with her. Considering the fact that she's opened up, she's still very shy, especially when she is showing work. Mm-hmm. And it's a bit of an uplift. Ruby, real quick, out of curiosity, how much temporary glamour do you have right now? Are you full?
Let me look on my glamour.
Because have you
It's
used
just the
any?
glamour. No, I have 5 glamour.
That's your permanent glamour set,
Oh,
right?
right.
Underneath it, you that if you haven't spent any, then you have full glamour.
I
Okay,
don't.
that's
I
fine.
haven't spent any. I haven't been around. I've been
Yeah.
busy.
So the thing that you notice about her is when she comes up to you and shyly looks down and then kind of straightens her shoulders and hands something to you, is it's just with that little bit more confidence that you normally see out of her. Normally, she just kind of like wants you to ask her for the thing that she's holding. Normally, she just kind of stares at her feet. Or she kind of like teases a little bit that she's got something and she wants you to know what it is, kind of, But today, she strides up to you and, still displaying a little bit of that timid nature, presents you with something that she has clearly worked some pretty long hours on. You see what could best be described a little secret that the two of you share that you've whispered to her about. You see this child's interpretation of a certain purplish little baby tiger cub. She presents it to you. Looks like she has gone into all of the detail that she can go into using various marker colors and whatnot, but it's undoubtedly Pipsqueak, who at this point peeks around your leg and is staring at that paper wide-eyed, like an anime character with glistening eyes.
And obviously Janice can't see him.
No, Janice can't. Janice can't see Pipsqueak because Janice is not enchanted. But as a dreamer, Janice is one step closer to seeing Pipsqueak than anybody else is.
It's almost like I told her about my imaginary friend and she believes in him. And
absolutely does. No, you believe in him. So she knows it's true. And she hands you this constructed. It's one of those chaotic, like it's quite well done for a 6-year-old. But what's pure chaos about it is it's using purple markers, like thick purple markers and whatnot.
That's why her arm is purple.
It's on green construction paper though. So it's just like, but it's clearly made with love. And the moment she presents it to you, you can feel she is brimming with glamour as she hands it to you. And she doesn't say anything. She just presents it.
I'm just going to stare at it and I was like, the likeness is uncanny. Pipsqueak says thank you.
Pipsqueak is pulling hard on your skirt right now, Ruby, desperately wanting you to show it to them, just kind of gnawing and like pulling and like clawing into the skirt.
And I'm just gonna keep looking and then like just kind of hold it casually down so like he can see it.
Which delights Jazzy to no end because now Jazzy knows where Pipsqueak is. Yeah. And Jazzy just kind of puts her hands up to her face, 100 like going full Sam Delev on this imaginary tiger cub, and is just watching completely taken as you show it. And Pipsqueak is beside themselves with joy. I mean, as much as a Chimera at that rating can express, there is a loud purring noise as Pipsqueak just kind of paws at your leg, almost like saying, Mom, look, and you're the one showing Pipsqueak. But you just hold it in front. Yeah.
And I'm going to hold it in front of Pipsqueak, but then I'm going to put it down on the desk and pretend like I'm picking up Pipsqueak, like something, and putting it on the desk. I'm not actually picking up Pipsqueak. It's pretend for Jazzy Janice. And then I'm going to open up my desk and pull out a little cat treat that I have cat treats in there. And I was like, did you want to give one to Pipsqueak?
She's nodding emphatically. Just
like, did you want to? Because this is like a game we play to where she'll hold it out into her hand and using my sleight of hand expertise that I have, I do like a little thing where I hold onto her hand and then let it go and then it disappears. It's like as if Pipsqueak eats the treat.
For funsies, I'm gonna say make a roll.
Okay.
For funsies.
Okay.
This is gonna be this should be
dex.
No, this would be dexterity plus I'm blanking on the
streetwise.
No. It's got a specific name.
Larceny?
Larceny. Thank you.
Okay.
That's the one. You're like, okay.
Yep. Okay. That's a good one.
Standard difficulty of 6.
Yep. And I will roll. I roll 6. No, I roll. Sorry, it's been so long. I haven't played in a couple.
You're
like a
good.
month
So
now.
you want 6 or
Yeah.
higher on D10s, and for every 6 you get is a success. If you roll ones, they subtract from successes.
All right, let me see what I get. I got
So for every run you roll.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Okay.
Successes.
4. Okay. You
Mhm.
remarkably, I gave her 2 dice. She rolled a 7 and a 10. So that is she's going to be an investigator when she grows up, but does not see the expertise as that piece of kibble just disappears. It's just gone. Pipsqueak ate it right in front of her.
What a pig.
As far as she's concerned. When you say that she is uncontrolled with her giggles. And then she just says, "Bye, Pipsqueak," and then shyly runs out the door, waving to you.
And then I'm gonna take her art, and there's a wall that I have of like all the kids' art, like when I'm substituting and stuff, and I'm just gonna put it on there. But I'm gonna remember to take that one with me when the teacher gets back.
One of the things that you notice, Ruby, is when you move over to the wall to put the art up, there's less and less art. What you've noticed is every time you do substitute teaching in elementary school, it's just an artifact of where you work. The older the grades, the bigger the grades, the less goofy art you see on the walls. Now, that doesn't necessarily mean anything negative, but you do notice that when you put Ruby's picture up there, it's one of the 4 that's on the walls. As you kind of paste it up there.
Less color, less fun.
As you're doing this, I'm going to ask you to make a perception check.
Oh no!
So this is going to be So this will be wits. This is wits plus alertness.
Oh, that's wits is okay, but not an actual.
I'm sorry. Perception.
No, let's
plus
go
alertness.
with wits. I think
wits
I should
alertness is
really
initiative.
look at wits. Okay. All right, perception and alertness.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Let me roll
Ruby's
my
like,
one
what
die.
piano? Burn.
Wait, I shouldn't roll that. No, go back. I don't want to roll you. Not a d20. Oh God. Oh. All right. Let's see what I rolled. I got 1
One success.
out of my 1 die. Yeah.
You rolled a die and got 1 success.
I have 1 perception and 0 alertness.
Nicely done. Okay, so
What do I win, boss?
let me tell you.
Okay.
You take a step back and you're regarding that picture on the wall. You hear what sounds like a pencil rolling across a desk, like the surface of a desk. When you turn to look to see where it's coming from, you turn just in time to see the pencil clattering to the floor. These desks are not angled. They're flat desks.
I look over at Pipsqueak.
Pipsqueak is looking back at you. With an expression on the little tiger cub's face, as animated as it can be, as a more cartoony looking tiger than an actual tiger, Pipsqueak looks back at you with sort of a slightly raised concern look. You would be aware, Ruby, that this is from the fact that you were showing some confusion and concern. Like, what was that? So Pipsqueak looks back at you with, what was what? Another pencil rolls off one of the countertops and clatters to the floor.
Okay. Can I? What do I want to do here? I want to do something. What do I want to do? I want to do something. I have all these. I had all my papers written down, and I don't know where they are. I kind of want to. I think I want to use crack shot, and I want to pull a pencil from out of my hair.
Okay.
And toss it directly into that
so
area to see if there's anything there that like maybe I can't see that I'm missing.
Sure. So what is crack shot exactly?
That's a great question. I'm trying to find my talent.
You're like, I don't know. It's just on my character sheet.
I wrote all my pages down, and I don't know where they went. They're all, and now it's all like none of the page stuff are there.
Well, let me ask you this: is it a merit? Is that what you're looking at?
No, it is one of my. Yes, it is a merit. Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought. So what it's probably going to do is alter a role. It's not an ability so much.
Right.
It's a 2-point merit. Whenever you're pointing a gun, arrow, or dart, you hit your target with greater accuracy. You receive no increased difficulty when you are targeting a specific location. Ooh. And reduce the difficulty of rolls not involving specific so all rolls to hit things with a thrown or a ranged weapon of any kind is reduced by 1 by default. And if you ever target something specific, you're not penalized for it. That's a strong 2-point merit.
Hey,
so
look,
what are you targeting? And you're throwing a pencil?
Yeah, I'm gonna pull like a pencil from out of my hair. Because they tend to get stuck in there.
Sure.
And where the pencils were rolling, like if there could be like if I could visualize like someone standing there or like someone that would like knock it off, I would just aim for like right in that general area.
I see what you're doing.
Yeah, I'm just gonna see if if the pencil hits anything.
I see. Okay.
Out of curiosity.
Yeah. So you're basically
this is like see if there's an invisible force field of invisible presence in this room.
Sure. All right. So I'm not. Go ahead and make a. I think this would be a dex. I mean, you're throwing something. I feel like this would be a death athletics check.
Okay. Let's see.
Which is the same as your firearms anyway, so kind of the same thing.
Oh no. The pencil breaks. I pull a Sam and just break the pencil.
What'd you do?
I got a 2, 3, 3, 4.
2, 3, 3, 4. Okay, so thankfully that's not a big. You just so the difficulty was reduced by 1, so you needed a 5 or better, but that's okay. So you basically throw this pencil. It goes sailing through the air, flipping end over end, and just clatters across the room. As it clatters across the room, Ruby, when it hits the wall and it clatters to the floor, it's just the right time for you to see the large, monstrous shape of what looks like a mastiff-sized armored dog walk past the window slowly and menacingly. You just see this window is floor to ceiling. There's 2 of these in the room, and they're these windows that fold out to allow air in, but nothing to go out. You see this dog stalk by the window just outside. It is, as I said, mastiff size, so very large.
Is the dog looking at me?
No, it kind of just moves past the window, but you can hear it. You can smell it from here as it stalks past. It smells like rot as it moves past the door.
I know
it's clearly, I should tell you, with as much as you've seen as it stalks past, it has a jet black coat that looks like it's just been, it looks like somebody squeezed the color out of a chunk of onyx and painted this dog in that color. And you can see the back part of its body where the shoulders are just kind of, you can see the bones peeking up out of the flesh as it moves, just from like so this sort of like gaunt like nature. It looks like a malnourished, mastiff-sized dog of some kind. And the way it moves on the top part of its skin, along its back, you can see clearly defined chitinous plates that run down the length of the spine. It is not a normal-looking animal. And the way it stalks past you in the window and doesn't look at you before it vanishes.
My hand just slowly, instinctively reaches for the cat treats just in case. But I know they won't do anything.
You reach for the cat treats. As you do, you feel Pipsqueak is gripping your leg right now.
Yeah.
Has gone under your skirt and is just gripping your leg.
Well, that wasn't a cute puppy. Obviously, I feel like something's wrong. So I'm going to finish packing up everything, kind of like closing up the class. And I want to go outside and kind of peek around and investigate, see if the dog is still out there. Obviously I know this is not something from the real world, right? I mean, I would think that I don't know any of the kids' parents that dress their dogs up in armor, but maybe it's a new thing. Maybe I missed the.
I love this because we're getting inside of Ruby's brain right now of like Ruby trying to. I don't know.
Maybe there's like, I don't know any of the parents that have a dog like. And then I do know that there's a pet store not too far away, and they were going to try and do a calendar to get more adoption rates up, but if they're putting them in costumes, maybe they should have thought of something a little bit more whimsical. And so I'm thinking all of this as I'm trying to rationalize why there would be a dog looking like that walking by, and I'm going to go and like investigate. And also I want to make sure if there's any kids outside that like they're going to be okay. When
you leave the classroom, the halls are empty. Clearing out pretty fast, but you see that the halls are all but empty. You don't see anybody except for a trash can. Somebody comes and retrieves a trash can and is leaving around the corner with it just as you step out in the hall and look down. They keep walking. You see two double doors to your left that lead to the outside. So your classroom is kind of the corner office, as it were, at the one end of the building. That double door set leads out into a walkway that takes you straight to the parking lot.
Which is where the dog might be because of the windows.
It certainly wasn't inside. At least
I know, but I'm just like, direction sense,
I mean,
left or right. Okay. I'm going to go.
It's on the same side of the building. Yes. The double doors are on the same side of the building as you saw the window. Yes.
I'm going to walk quickly to the doors. I'm going to go quick. I'm not going to run because I also don't want to like
power walk.
Yeah. I'm going to like briskly.
There's just, if anybody had the ability to see into the dreaming, they would see this little purple tail occasionally peek out from under your skirt as your heel hits the back, as you're just walking quickly, because Pipsqueak is just latched onto you as you're walking. You can feel the weight on your leg as you're moving quickly to the double doors. When you reach the double doors, it is there in the window, up on its hind legs, popping up like a velociraptor, just in your face. Just you see the snarling as spit spatters all over the window as it starts to try to chomp onto the door in front of you. This thing standing up on its hind legs, Ruby, is taller than you. Its paws are easily the size of your face, and its mouth looks like it has been filled with blood or is bleeding. You can't tell which. The gums are pulled back enough where you can see too much bone and too much teeth. And it is attacking the door. Smashes against the door again, and then you can hear the squeaking sound as its tongue is just lapping across it, like it's desperate to get in.
Okay. Oh, Jesus. Okay. Fun. I think I might have to run back to my class and shut the door. I mean, I'm not going out that way. In case anyone was curious.
I was, as your GM, I was very curious if you planned on leaving the door, if you were going out that way.
Possibly. Is there another way out? I think I might go that way.
Okay. You know the school like the back of your hand. Yeah. There are other double doors. Yes, you can try one of the other doors.
All right. I'm gonna back away slowly, like nice doggy. And I'm gonna be as I'm backing up, I'm gonna be reaching for my phone in my purse.
Okay. Yeah, you feel your phone in your purse.
And I'm going to call Eliza.
As you flip it open, or whatever phone, I imagine you have a flip phone because Ruby being Ruby.
Look, I don't like it when things are smarter than me. So who needs it? I don't need to play games on my phone. I can play games anywhere.
So, Ruby, you flip open your phone and find that there's actually a text message waiting from Skeeta, telling you something about a party that's happening tonight. and is happening at this etiquette school that you've never heard of, inviting you to attend.
For a brief second, I forget all about the dog, and I'm like, a party! And I get all excited.
So I had you reply, "Oh, I used to go to that school last game session that we did this." I'm like, "Oh yeah, no, it sounds great. I used to go there."
That pretty much.
Just as you hit send, the dog attacks the door again, and the door goes.
Oh yeah, dog. And I just keep. I'm just gonna write in all caps, dog. Text it.
Skeet up. The day's wrapped up, and your motley has all gone their separate ways. Mm-hmm. Everyone's kind of parted and is either preparing for this the party crashing tonight, or is just waiting for the pickup. But you know that Gira headed back to the School of Etiquette, and that was going to get in contact with you when it was time to do the show up. You know that that Aisling had a live stream to do. And so she had to go get that done. You're never quite sure where Holly goes. No one really is. You're never quite sure. But you can imagine it probably has something to do with the crashing waves and the seagulls that are screaming overhead. Probably has something to do with that. You finally have gotten a reply from your Pooka friend, who just says in all caps, as it pops up on the screen, dog. How Skeeta interprets that, I leave to you, but that's all you see popping up on your cell phone.
Okay, I'm actually taking the long way home, just enjoying a nice walk by the beach, and so I hear the bell on my phone. Dog. And I reply, "It's not a costume party." Send.
Okay.
I guess I think
y'all can do character dialogue now because you're basically texting back and forth.
I'm just gonna write back. Do you know anyone who works at animal control?
Oh. Maybe. What's going on? I call. I'm actually gonna. Oh no, I can't FaceTime because I would know that Ruby has a flip phone, so I call. Yes. All right.
It's true.
Calling.
Hey! You hear me out of breath because I'm kind of running through the halls, and I'm not saying this out loud. I'm doing it, but sure. I'm running through the halls. Now I said
hi.
And breathlessly just hey,
a party. That sounds awesome. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if I'll be there on time. I'm kind of stuck at the moment.
Are you being chased by a dog?
Is it a dog?
Well, I'm not there, so I don't know.
I might need. I'm trying to do this where I'm like, because she asked me a direct question. No.
You can spend a willpower point, but yes, you basically, Ruby. It's almost like there is a block. The moment you are about to give an honest answer, it just
Where are you?
Oh, good Lord.
Wait, what time is it?
Yeah, it's.
Are you still at school?
God damn it, this is hard.
Welcome to playing a Pooka. Welcome to playing a Pooka.
I know.
Love know how to help.
No, of course not.
No idea.
School. I graduated years ago.
Okay.
You can try to make a wit sympathy roll.
Okay. Yeah.
If you want to try to interpret and I won't have this. I'm not going to have this be contested because she is not trying to lie to you. She's being a Pooka.
Right.
So this is to see if you're
Yeah.
picking up on the signal
I do
of
want
someone
to know.
saying yes, but they're shaking their head. So go
Okay.
ahead and make a roll. The difficulty is 6 with sympathy.
All right. Okay. Difficulty. I got 3 successes.
And don't forget, never forget that 1 subtract your successes. So if you roll any 1s, those take away. Yeah.
3 successes, no 1s.
3 successes. She sounds panicked, and she sounds like she is trying to communicate with you desperately. That the answers to your questions are yes, she's still at school, and yes, she's probably being chased by a dog.
Okay, I'll be right there.
Great. You might
stand
wanna
on a table or something. Lock the door.
Okay. You might want to bring some extra pencils. They seem to be going all over the place.
Okay. Can I GM question, with my
Yeah.
will's empathy, would I be able to tell if it's, well, no. I was gonna say
Possibly.
something about, is it a real dog, or like, should I call animal control?
Yeah, there's really no, she hasn't really given you an indication that this isn't anything other than just an angry dog.
Okay. I'm gonna, well then, on the way to, I'm gonna book it over to the school.
Are you
Okay.
a cat
Wait there.
person? As I'm running.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on the phone with you.
Cool.
Actually, yeah, I think I am more of a cat person personally, but I like dogs. Dogs can be fine, but I'm also looking up, I have her on speaker and I'm looking up animal control's number. Just in
Okay,
case.
you find it. Point Cassida
Yeah.
Animal Control. Humane
Okay.
Society references and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay, how far am I from the school if I'm by the
You're
where the
probably
chowder
going
place
to need to Uber that.
Okay, I'll
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah, what's up?
I was curious where in the timeline we are from last episode. Is this
I-
when
yeah.
Skeeta is with Holly changing, or is this pre-changing in the
This
restaurant?
sounds like it's post
or-
changing, or at least post picking out outfits. Yeah.
Yeah,
Because we're split.
I'm kind of
Okay.
I'm kind of in the
This is wibbly wobbly, timey wimey.
yeah, but
For sure.
but here's the thing. Like everyone has split, but this has only just recently happened. So Holly is still accessible, and everybody is accessible still.
Oh, cool! I'm
except
not
for
like
Gera.
that. Awesome. Perfect. Lovely.
Yeah.
Idea.
Everybody is still accessible, but Gera is not because Gera's gone back to the school and is
Sure.
actually there.
And
right now.
I'll say that I am also not, since I am currently streaming,
Okay.
and we established I'm still streaming.
Okay.
You're doing a restoration
That's
on
why-
a very beautiful doll. Also, by the way, family, if you get a chance, check out the Brie fan art of a very creepy doll that got posted today.
Amazing.
Wow.
I saw
Oh my
that.
gosh, the V2.
It's so good.
All I'm saying is I knew you I figured you were streaming. I didn't want to interrupt your stream, so I didn't call you. I didn't want you to be offended, and
Of course.
Thank
you for letting me break flow. I've been like, I'm seeing it in my mind's eye, and I'm like, where is this? When is this happening? So,
Mhm.
It ended at the same time as the closet open and light
and I don't think I have your number, Sam. So
because you were signing off.
I thought
When we
I
wrapped
thought I
the
signed
game.
off when you were ready to leave, but maybe I'm mistaken. It's been 2 weeks. I don't remember.
It's
Yeah, it's
been. been. Yeah. No. I think Ruby probably knows that I haven't picked a number yet. Though I'm a fan of 29.
all right. Homing pigeon. Got it. Anyway, so I think I went back to my classroom since I was like, this is familiar territory and I can make a jump for the window if I need to. And then I'm going to grab the cat treats and throw them outside the door. Shut the door. Maybe that'll distract the dog.
Okay.
Dogs like
real,
food.
real quick, if y'all are trying to figure out how to get a hold of Holly, you would know that one of Holly's points of contact is specifically the what's his name? I'm blanking on my NPC's name. The red cap that basically does the Lord. I think it's Lord Amar.
Oh, not
Lord Amar, who does a lot of the ferrying back and forth to the freehold. Lord Amar is sort of like the point of contact because Lord Amar has the most immediate contact with Holly because Holly emerges from the ocean, and that's literally where Lord Amar is kind of doing his thing. He's kind of, if you ever need to get a hold of Holly, he's kind of your first base of doing it because Holly doesn't have any way of connecting with you guys once they
I have
return
lots of
to-
waves. Of,
I found some notes. Woo.
I'm gonna say also on the phone because I'm gonna say keep me on the phone, keep me on speaker, and also if you can send me a picture of this dog so I know what we're dealing with.
So is the dog still seen at the door?
Well, you're not at the door anymore because you went the opposite direction. So you are
Right, but
you're going to the other door to toss
I
cat
know-
treats out.
Do I know that if it's still at the door? Like, can I look? If it's still at the door.
You can. So remember you've decided to move away
I
from
went
that
back
exit.
into
So
my
you've gone-
yeah. I went back to the classroom. Now I'm peeking back out. I'm like, it's still at the door.
Oh, I thought you were going to another exit. Okay, so you've gone into the. So if you've gone back into your classroom, this thing is stalking around outside the window.
Oh. Okay, so if it's outside the window and is it looking at me?
It's kind of stalking by from time to time. It doesn't directly look at you. You just see its form pass
you
by
can
the
see
window, like it's a
Okay.
shark that's swimming around a cage.
Cool. I'm gonna put on my wait. I don't have a smartphone, so I'm like, I'll call you back, and I hang up. And then I flip open my phone because it's like my phone doesn't do multiple things at once. I'm not fancy, and I'm like, I'm trying to like get a picture, and instead I do it like this, and like this, and I take like a selfie with it, like
Uh-huh.
like and like I take a couple pictures of it with my face in it, like, look at that. Is it showing up on camera?
You snap a shot and send it digitally. Curiously enough, the picture that shows up on your cell phone does in fact depict what looks like an animal moving past the window.
Okay. Do I see the plate thingies that you described before?
And then it fades from the picture in real time. As it arrives, you see this darkened shape of a dog and it just fades away. And you just see a picture of a window.
I call. You're getting a call back from me.
Yeah.
Did you get my selfie?
hi.
Did you get my selfie?
I did. I think it's chimerical because it disappeared in the picture.
I go back to look at my pictures, but then I realize I can't.
It's
do that
faded.
on my
Yeah, if
phone.
you
and I
hang-
hang
if
up
you
on
hang
her
up.
again.
Click.
Don't hang up.
Like, I keep flipping my phone and flipping my phone. I was like, I gotta upgrade. Oh man. I call her back.
Okay. Skeeta's back on the phone again.
Okay, so let me just rack my brain. Can I do a gray mare roll to see if I know what this is?
Yes, you may.
All right. It would be gray mare
Also,
and what?
this would be intelligence gray mare.
Okay.
Also, fun fact: I discovered today that it's one of those kooky. It's one of those kooky Gallic like interpretive names. I've been calling it gray mare, but it's actually I believe it's Grimrye.
You're just
which is-
blowing my mind today, Ed.
Yeah, I found this out recently because there's a brilliant, and I'm going to post this on the coffee, but there's a brilliant channel that I posted in the game resources that actually it explains. There is a YouTuber that created a quick YouTube of pronunciation terms. So
That's awesome.
Amazing.
so it's Grammarly, I think is
Grammarly. Okay.
yeah. It's a variation of the same word.
like a granary,
Yeah.
but for the gram.
Mm.
So,
I have to spell
intelligence-
it, oh yeah. I did my roll. Okay, so I did roll one, but I got 3 successes, so 2 successes total.
Okay, so you made your Grammarly roll. You got 2 successes, and you, with 2 successes, Skeeta, as you're looking at the picture and trying to do the math, you're like, it's definitely got to be. It has to be a chimerical creature of some kind.
I don't recognize
You're
it.
certain of it? No, it doesn't look like a. If it is a dog, the way the way Ruby is describing it, then it's possible it's a nightmare chimera. But you would need to see it yourself to get an idea of what it is you're dealing with. But what you do know from this picture is that it is definitely chimerical, the way it's behaved after the picture was taken. If anybody else had seen that picture, they would never have seen a dog to begin with. They would have seen just an empty picture of a window.
And a fun selfie.
Were you taking the selfie? Okay, so the big this fox Pooka just giving a big like peace sign as this like giant dark like jet black night creature is just moving around outside.
Okay. If I'm still on the phone with her, I'll say, okay, don't let it in and don't move. Don't do anything. I'm gonna come to you. Can you just let me in the front door away from wherever that thing is?
I mean,
say no, I guess. I don't know.
Yes.
You can lie to me. It's fine. Just lie. Just lie.
Yeah, I know. No, I was actually trying to think of like, well, earlier I was gonna take a drive and go to my car and run some errands and maybe instead I'll walk. So I'm trying to tell you to go the back, come in the back way, not the front where the parking lot is my way of. Yeah,
but you gotta say that as a Pooka. I told you when you rolled up Ruby, I was not going to let you off the hook with this. So if you want to try to get around your frailty, you can try to get around it with a roll.
I'm kind of telling a story that's a lie to hint to do something else.
So let me hear it. Right? Yeah, let me hear it. What's the story?
Okay, well, I was gonna, get in my car, go for a long drive, run some errands, but then I figured, you know what? Gas is so expensive lately. I probably should just walk. So maybe, just walk over and meet me. We can, we don't have to take the car. Just like hold on the phone, like awkward silence.
Skeeta, roll wit sympathy.
I just looked down at
she is just going off right now, and you're like, you get the impression Ruby's trying to tell you something. This is the way it is with Ruby, unfortunately. You're just like.
I just looked down at Pipsqueak, and he's just doing.
Pipsqueak is like staring at the window and staring back at you.
I got 2 successes.
Yeah, you get the impression Ruby is trying to communicate to you to you said walk, is that right?
Basically saying that we shouldn't use the car. First of all, fun fact, Ruby doesn't have a car, so that should probably also hint to you.
Okay.
Yeah, I was going to go to the parking lot, but no, I was going to go for a long drive.
Oh man, I should have upped the difficulty on that. Okay. You get the basic idea that Ruby is basically trying to.
Right. I don't have a. I mean,
yeah, I would say that's why I'm okay not retro roll. Like, yes, you would know that Ruby doesn't actually use, if she needs to get around, it's usually public transportation or hitching a ride.
Or like a caravan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So don't go to the parking lot. Go to the other entrance. Is probably what I would figure out from that. Is that what you meant?
No. Doesn't matter.
You're like, I know what Ruby meant.
I got it. I'm gonna die today. Okay.
Elementary, my dear Watson.
It's literally giving Kronk directions and him just reading it back to you and being like, got it. All right, I know how to do this. Yeah, so Bonnie, if at any point you want to try to get around your frailty, keep this in mind.
Okay.
As a Pooka, everything you say has to have an untruth in it. Under most circumstances, Pooka can speak the truth as long as it's mixed with lies.
Okay.
Half-truths and exaggerations. The trouble comes when you're asked direct questions. If you're asked a direct question, a Pooka has to ask. If you are asked a direct question, you must answer with a falsehood. If you wish to answer truthfully, it is a willpower roll at a difficulty 8, and you have to spend a point of willpower.
Cool.
It's literally just going, yes. Yes.
Okay.
Well, the answer
so-
is no, or the answer is
Okay.
yes.
Well, with that being said, you heard me go, well, I needed to run some errands and go for a really long drive. So I was going to go all to my car, but then I figured it might be better to walk because gas has been so expensive. And you know how huge of a gas guzzler my car is. And yeah, so, you know, if you want to join me, that would be great. But instead of driving, I'm probably going to walk.
Okay, so
This
on
is really
two
clarified
successes,
which entrance you're at.
exactly.
I'm just gonna
I
leave
don't
my
even know what
car
you're saying.
parked. I'm just
So,
going to leave
Bonnie.
my car parked in the front and we're just going to walk to run the errands.
Okay. Yeah.
So Bonnie,
Yeah.
because Eliza got 2 successes, I'm going to allow you to translate what she would pick up from what you were trying to say. Because I'm telling you right now, even as your GM listening to you say that, I have no idea how I would ever work the enigma of what you were trying to tell me. So what does Skeeta get from what you just said?
So she's coming to the school and she said she'll be there in just a moment.
You
Assuming
want
that she
her
was going
to-
to enter through the main entrance, which is where the parking lot is.
Sure,
I
yeah.
was trying to say, hey, we're not taking my car. It's a gas guzzler. And me saying this also probably makes her remember Ruby doesn't have a car. It's like instead we're probably going to walk, which is there's a back entrance that you can walk around the school because that's like a little bit of a ways, but
Sure.
it's like the back entrance that you can just
Sure.
walk through.
So
Like a
you're
walk-in.
saying, so to summarize, you're saying
Yeah.
you're telling her Skeeta gets to use the back entrance, that it's dangerous out front. Don't go in
Yeah.
the front.
There was something obviously it knows the parking lot area. It was in the parking lot entrance. Like, it was
Okay,
at the
so
main
then
entrance.
to summarize, this thing is out front. Use the back door.
Okay, I'm gonna tell my Lyft driver. Can you actually just swing around to the back? My friend's a teacher and she's on her break, and yeah, just pull into.
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, around there.
Yes,
Thank
ma'am.
you.
Not a problem. Not a problem.
Okay.
You pull away from the curb as this black Prius begins to pull towards the school. You're driving along. By the way, Skeeta, I did want to tell you that while you were listening to Ruby just go on and on and on and on and trying to discover what it was she was trying to tell you, in the background, you could hear what sounded like it's loud enough that you could have heard it through the receiver of the phone. Even one as old as
Wow.
Ruby's.
Okay, don't
You can hear
be phone shaming me, Eric.
No, you
okay?
deserve it, okay? It's a flip phone.
I'm gonna actually. This might be our first group text as a motley. I'm gonna text everyone and just start a group text and say, whoever's available, please meet over at the back entrance of the school because there's a chimerical something that is threatening our dear Ruby. And I
So,
need backup.
Two things I want to put out there is if we want, we can say narratively that this happens and it's what actually, if you want, and this is just, I'm throwing out storyteller suggestions so that we can all like sync up. But if you want, we could say this is what causes Aisling to be like, and that's my stream for today. or we could say that it just times out perfectly. However you want to do that.
We came to the conclusion that it was post closet exploration. Therefore, she had already ended her stream and was therefore stalling putting on party clothes.
Okay, so you're literally like looking at the mirror while this is happening. Okay.
And I can tell you exactly where Holly is in a way that ultimately happens to be convenient, even though they are not in the group text.
Sure.
It's that at lunch, they had a lot of a few bites because they had intended to go in on food at the Pink Berry. And then that did not work out. And then they had a little sampler platter of a lot of things. All of this is a preface to I want more chowder.
So
I went back to chowder in love. I wanted to eat more chowder. I went back to chowder.
I'm picturing, after you parted ways with everyone, I'm picturing Holly wheeling themselves over to their escape point, as it were, and then stopping before they got there and was like, sun's still up. And then turning around and going back.
So when Aisling goes out, if and when Aisling goes out, you will. find me.
So there's one more piece of context that I want to give everyone, just to give you some more narrative juice.
Okay.
Because we didn't get to play last week. And so as a quick refresher, keep in mind, you're getting a call about some kind of nightmare chimera that's going on at the school. And this is literally 2 hours after you fought one in broad daylight.
Yeah.
So a second one, apparently, and Ruby is the one that's encountered it.
Whoops.
Or it has encountered Ruby.
Whoops.
So just to give some context of how unusual this text is.
Yeah. I think when you see Aisling, she had gotten ready for the party, and what that looks like is she's wearing about 15 layers of clothing. You can see that she has a dress under, but there's like a sweater over another shawl over a big overcoat over a cape. Like she has clearly like layered for comfortability and like, please don't perceive me. And so she's like very bulky as her arms barely fit through all of the layers. And when she spots you and just says, "Oh, hi."
You can barely hear her, Holly, amongst the den of people that are still in the dining room areas.
Am I going to be underdressed?
Not for a nightmare.
What?
Oh. Right. And Aisling skitters closer to you and then hands you her phone.
It's one of those newfangled digital devices that has people's words on it.
I just read the page of it, like the slate of it. I have not, like those gestures, we aren't there yet. We're going to get there so much quicker than we would have on other forms of UI. Like, bless the intuition, because we see like little babies figure it out so quick. Little fishy babies will be able to figure it out eventually, but not yet. So they read that page and they do swap the phone for the like bread rolls if you would like one.
Aisling takes it.
An equivalent exchange.
Yes.
So
she eats it like a mouse. Just
perfect. As a quick refresher for everybody who's watching, to the family out there, one of the frailties of playing Merfolk is you have no idea or even like a point of reference of what some of these technologies are. And so you're watching Holly in real time go, what is this that I'm holding? I'm supposed to read all of this? So
it's a remote.
Would you like a ride?
Is that like having more layers? As I look at Phoenix.
No. But meet me out back. Also shoves the rest of the bread into her mouth hole.
I swear I'm getting so many like tin Eggo vibes from Holly and Chowder just there bread. All right. So meeting Holly out back, what does Holly encounter?
You might expect, well, you wouldn't know, but you've seen the cars, you've almost been run over by some. So you might expect sort of a car in the back alley. But you find Aisling on a razor scooter. And that is Aisling's mode of transportation.
Yes. Okay.
Now I have too many. And I point at the wheels and the coats, like the layers of you.
Let's roll. Aisling takes off.
I'm just hearing like the Cyndi Lauper Goonies music right now as the two of you just roll out of the parking lot.
Okay, so who wins? Scooter v. Chair?
I feel like Chair.
I think Chair, yeah. Chair seems
think Chair?
Yeah.
I think Chair. I mean, because skateboards do pretty well against me. But scooters, I think, are slower.
Scooters are slower because there's the slow, and I don't think Ashling's particularly like Daredevil-esque with their scootering. I think it's very leisure and
especially if
very,
it's a ranger. You can't go that fast because you're putting so much into those two little very thin wheels. That said, Holly is not Sam. So I think we're ultimately going to have some reasonable parity.
Okay.
Side by side.
I'm
oh
going
my
to
gosh,
say,
we're going to terrify pedestrians. Sorry.
I'm going to say, since y'all are wheeling it, I'm going to, and I'm so sorry to do this to you, but I am going to ask for a stamina athletics roll.
okay, great.
Yeah, you're good at stamina.
Guess what my my specialty for stamina is?
What is it?
Tireless.
Just like a machine, just like the porcelain face, and just dead
But
eyes.
also
as
it's
you're
funny because it's tired.
Because it's a tie.
They're
Yeah.
real.
All right.
Okay. Where is my? There they are.
Cool.
Make a roll. You want 6s or better.
Yeah, I do.
One success. All right.
Yep.
2.
2. So Holly, this is not like swimming. There is a synergy you share with the currents of the ocean, and they carry you as much as you use them to move. There is an elegance and a logic. Moving on land is, you're fighting the world. There's gravity and there's momentum and there's stoplights and like people walking around and like you, with one success you succeed, but it is characterized as barely succeeding. So you're a little on the winded side and a little just like your body is kind of just trying to get used to the movements, constantly stopping and starting and constantly stopping and starting. But the two of you, along with the Uber, y'all are all starting to converge at basically the same point. The Avengers are assembling as you're all starting to head towards Point Cassida Elementary School. While this is all happening, you have been watching, Ruby, as this dog has continued to pace around outside the windows and then just kind of disappears. It's like pacing back and forth like a predator out front. And then you wait for a moment to see if it's going to continue the pattern of appearing and disappearing in front of the window. And you don't see it.
I grab a pencil and go and sharpen it quickly. And then I get the bag of cat treats and start creeping towards the door with the pencil
Okay.
or a weapon. Apparently there's not a lot of weapon options at schools, which is what it should be, people. Anyway, it's my PSA.
Okay.
Grabbing my pencil, and I'm gonna go out into the hallway and look around.
At this point, the school has gone into after hours mode, so every other light in the hallway is on.
Mm-hmm.
And you're seeing a darkened hallway. Light, shadow, light, shadow, light, shadow, going down about 100 feet. It's just a long hallway with school doors and whatnot. A lot of the classroom doors have been left open for janitorial staff. So you can see like old waste baskets that are just kind of holding these big, thick wooden doors open. But you don't hear anybody moving around or cleaning or anything.
I grab my phone and I think to myself, no, because I don't have a flashlight on my phone because I'm not cool. And then I look in my bag to see if I have anything. And then I pull out like a firework and I'm like, no, no, I can't use that inside. You know, like, so I'm pulling out random things that could work for form of light. Put it back in and then just try this. That didn't work either. The lights aren't clappers.
No, the lights don't change.
I saw that on TV once. I thought it might work.
Nope, nothing appears to happen.
Well, that was a waste of time. I just keep creeping forward with my pencil.
All right, so you leave the classroom.
I'm gonna try and go towards the back door where I know they're gonna come and meet me.
Okay. You creep out of your classroom, look left and right. You look down the hall, you see the darkened hallway. You clap a couple of times. Nothing happens. You see Pipsqueak peeks out from underneath your skirt and looks up at you like, are you kind of like, you're calling me? Kind of has this look on his face like you're clapping for him. So he's like, yes, kind of like, you see the little tiger face giving you kind of a questioning look.
I look at him and go, good job. Give him a thumbs up.
Goes back underneath the skirt like that was the easiest come here I've ever had. And as you step out into the hallway, you hear the breath of the animal immediately. You just you kind of slowly turn and look, and the doors are closed, and it's standing in front of them inside. It is indeed, it looks like massive. It is mastiff scaled. So it is a very large canine looking creature with this black glossy chitinous plating all over its back. Its jaws, they don't look like they've rotted away. It looks like that's the way they've always been. It looks like somebody kind of just pulled its lips up backwards and they just vanished. It doesn't have anything except for exposed gums and bones sticking out, and its eyes are gleaming with red malice.
Oh no. Hold on, I'm looking up
it's
my merit.
Staring at you, and its tongue kind of lolling out. Its tongue is nightmarishly long. Longer than a large dog's. It hangs about a foot to 2 feet outside of its mouth. It just dangles off onto its side. You are getting what looks like droplets of blood sliding off of it, probably because this animal is constantly chomping on its own flesh by accident or by design. You can just see it pouring out of its mouth.
Ruby is obviously scared, but she uses humor as a way to deflect. And so she's gonna be like, hey, doggy, how did you get inside the door, huh?
Oh my god.
You got some imposable thumbs on you, huh, buddy?
Okay.
And like but backing up slowly as like she's talking to it. Way to evolve, dog. Like
I need you to roll charisma plus animal kin, please.
Wait, I'm looking up my merits. I'm trying to find my merits so I can use a merit.
This is so Vince Glortho talking to like, this is the scene from Ghostbusters, like, nice little doggy, cute little pooch.
Yeah.
Maybe I've got a milk bone.
Yep. I'm trying to find my damn cat treats. Let me see. Where is okay, I'm looking at my merits now because I have something that actually might work for this.
All right.
Which is what I was looking for.
Hold on. Let's
Let
it.
Me find it. I'm looking for the paper. Or the paper.
Is it good, listener? Because that ain't gonna cut it.
Calming presence, yo.
Calming presence.
I can calm any animal or child with a quiet word or even a look.
Okay.
Something in my aura conveys safety and security to the animal or child. Guard dogs and wild animals will never attack me. And
this is not a wild animal.
Well, look, you can see why I'm assuming. Can I? This is something
you can try it.
I would try calming.
You can absolutely try it. Yes.
Okay.
You can absolutely give it a shot. So,
cool.
So the difficulty of this is going to be 8.
Okay.
So you need to roll an 8 or better.
Okay. And what
on
am I rolling
D10s. It's all D10s. Yeah. So
I know
you're rolling charisma, and I'll allow you to make, you know what though, because of the extraordinary circumstances of what you are confronting, instead of making you roll animal kin, I will let you do I think this would be a good time to allow you to try one of the things that Ruby is particularly good at. So if you want to do charisma plus expression, I'll let you do that.
We also have story.
What about empathy?
You also have story points.
What about empathy? Like,
no, I wouldn't say empathy. This is really you trying to express. I'm going to say it's charisma plus expression here.
Okay, all right.
Try to communicate to this chimerical creature. Yeah.
Cool. Here I go.
Think of it as like a wits persuasion roll. You need an 8 or better and 1's take away from successes.
Oh, wait, where'd it go? Okay, 1, 2, 3 successes, but 1 as well. So 2 successes. Damn it.
So 2 successes. So you rolled two 8s or better. Okay.
Yeah,
so
I rolled an 8, 9, but also a 1 in there, and
it
something that
menacingly takes a step forward, but doesn't charge you, and instead initiates what sounds like a vicious growling sound. Outside, Skeeta, just as you're closing the door to the Uber, you can hear it from inside the building, a muffled, like low baritone, like snarl. And about this point, Skeeta, to your left, coming down the street in the distance, you can see the 2 rollers on their way. But you've got a good lead on them because you took the Uber and because you were the first person contacted. Yep, you're muted.
Can I tell if the growl is coming from the outside or the inside?
Inside.
I'm gonna run up to that back door and look inside. Is there a little window on the door?
Yeah, 2 long windows. As soon as you run up, you can see. It looks like as soon as you peer in, and to your great relief, I imagine, Ruby, you can see Skeeta's face just suddenly pop into the window behind this animal. You see the scene as described, but from the animal's point of view, you see this large chimerical demon dog thing that's standing in the hallway, and it's facing down Ruby. You can also see there is gooey slime dripping from the handle that's right in front of you.
Ugh. What? Wait! Oh my goodness! Oh my goodness! Okay.
It looks like it's got Ruby kind of locked in place, but it's not attacking. It seems like rather like it's focused on what Ruby is saying to it, and it's not attacking Ruby at the moment.
And and then it cuts to me talking to the creature going, did you know that imposable thumbs are actually very important to the to evolution? And this is what separates it. And I just BS about thumbs.
Yeah, I'm going to stop you because you gotta exaggerate or lie as you're saying all of this. As you're stating facts.
Sure.
Oh, you're a teacher.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yep.
That just hit.
I just teach in a very unconventional
Do you
way.
think she's qualified or just
When Bonnie said Ruby is a substitute teacher, I was like, oh, this is great. This is great. The kids are absolutely going to connect with you.
Yeah.
All right.
A little known fact, but gators actually have imposable thumbs, and it used to be in the swamps that you'd have to double lock the doors in order to keep them from entering your domain. But throughout the years, and I can, if I can
you
look
just
and,
keep going
in the background. Yeah.
Are you just standing there as you're saying all of this?
I'm slowly backing up towards the door where I know.
Then I'm going to say behavior which would normally provoke a reaction, backing up like that fearfully, is instead met with mild curiosity, even though there's a menace coming from this thing, because you successfully rolled that charisma expression check. It seems to be taking its time pondering you for a moment, but as you back up, instead of charging you, it matches you step for step. So as you take a step back, it takes a step forward. And at that point, Ruby, you're definitely getting the impression from this thing that it intends to try to kill you. There's no need for an empathy check here at all. It has its eyes just locked on you. Its head is dipped low, and it hasn't come at you yet because you've done a good job kind of throwing off its groove a little bit. As its head is dipping, it's trying to comprehend what you're saying to it.
And just so you know, being someone that was born with imposable thumbs, I am actually a thumb wrestler champion, and I have traveled the world and have won many tournaments.
Feel the quivering of Pipsqueak on your leg, this small little fuzzy thing just vibrating in terror on your calf. What are you doing, Skeeta? We're going to have a few more moments before the cavalry gets here.
Yeah, I'm trying to figure out if I should distract it. If things are under control in there, but this thing looks very dangerous and I don't trust it. If I should distract it, like by knocking on the door, get it to come this way so that Ruby can like run into a room or something, get away and lock a door behind her.
Try to buy Ruby some time. I will tell you this, Ruby has bought herself some time. She is running out.
Okay. She's running out?
She's running out of time.
Oh, out of time. So I need to
She
buy more
successfully stopped this thing from coming at her, but she only bought herself some time.
Okay, it can go through doors too. So yeah, I think I need to draw it out. Oh, I'm scared. Skeeta starts banging on the door. Hey, dog thing.
That does it. It whips around suddenly like you startled it. Its back is now turned to you, Ruby, as it turns and faces, and you see this nightmare creature looking back at you.
Come on, doggy, come on. And I'm gonna back away from the door, knowing that it can come through doors. I'm just
all right. So you're gonna try to. So I'm gonna say this is a make a manipulation expression check. We're gonna see if you can. We're gonna see if you can basically taunt this thing into coming out.
Okay. These same 4 dice have been good to me. Knock on wood.
It's not an innate difficulty, and trying to provoke this thing is not difficult.
Okay.
So it's a 6.
I only got 1 success.
Okay. It hesitates. It glances back, exhibiting what looks like to be more than animalistic intelligence. It looks like it looks back at Ruby to consider which one, and then it charges the door at you, Skeeta. Your head dips low. You can see it's coming. Sure enough, its bulk charges. That comes charging towards the door. It's only 3 feet away from the door. So you have moments before this thing slams into the door.
Yeah. I'm going to slip away and try to hide somewhere.
That we're going to do real quick. We're going to do this real fast because I know what you're invoking here, and I'm so excited that you're finally using this. So
wait, what am I invoking? I don't know.
Oh, you're a Pisky. Piskies have it. Piskies have an ability to sort of, if they don't want to be seen, they have an ability to just sort of get the hell out of there if they need to get the hell out of there.
Oh.
So, yeah. So remember, did you write that down in your? It's you know how you get frailties. You also get the benefits of being a Pisky.
Okay, let me look this up then.
Sure. It's so I'll pull it up for you right now. So right now, what you'll be able to roll to get the duck out of fudge.
Blending in, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, so let's see. So nimble, blending in. No matter where they go, Piskies always look like they belong there. Their skin color, hair color, eye color, facial features, clothing, all of it just appears to belong where they're traveling. So any changeling or supernatural entities player can roll perception plus kenning difficulty 8 to see through the illusion. So basically, when you dip away from the door, it has to roll or it loses sight of you.
Okay. I thought I was just going to do a stealth roll.
I mean, you can, or you can go full Pisky.
Yeah, I will do that. Let's do the Pisky.
In which the group that they are traveling. Okay. It is worth noting that there are a couple of people outside, mortals, that are walking around.
Oh no! Wait, no. Oh, if I had known that, I wouldn't have.
No, you don't have to worry about it. It's chimerical.
It's not going to attack them?
No, it can't interact. Well, as far as you know, it can't interact with them.
Okay. All right. But
like with the Nervosa, where it looked like y'all were fighting each other, as far as they were concerned. That's what we would know from context, I suppose.
My only other thing is that I wanted to warn. I'll pull out my phone and also text. It's no time to do all this.
Yeah, I was going to say, this thing is 3 feet. It's lunged at the door. So if you want to duck away, you can try to duck away and just pretend like you're a mortal, just walking the sidewalks.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And that's your Pisky ability to sort of just like blend in and be like.
And what does it have to roll? Perception kenning?
It has to make a perception kenning at a difficulty of 8 to spot that you are, in fact, not who you're pretending you to be. You basically pull an Assassin's Creed. You slip into the crowd and you're just like, no, I belong here.
Uh-huh. Okay. All right, let's do it.
Okay, I'm going to make the roll. It's all going to happen all at once. Let's see this. I got 1 success. So this is what happens. You all, the two of you, Aisling and Holly, you are on approach of the school, and you can see the form of Skeeta banging into a door and doing something. Moments later, you see Skeeta turn towards a group of mortals who have kind of glanced in her direction. People, looks like they're at faculty, maybe that's out in the parking lot. Skeeta takes 2 quick, long strides and kind of stands next to them. She's just in their presence in a few moments. They, interestingly enough, and you've seen her do this before, Aisling, Skeeta can just do this with people sometimes. Just walk right up to them and no one thinks it's weird. No one sees it as a violation of space. Everyone just sees it as a total like, oh yeah. For a split second, Aisling, it takes you a moment to blink and realize that's still Skeeta. It's like if you can imagine what it would be like to be just unable to see Skeeta for a moment, even though you're staring right at her. It takes you a split second. No, that's still her. And at the same moment that happens, the door to the school smashes open suddenly, which is enough to make the mortals turn and kind of jump. The mortals don't react to what emerges from the school. However, whatever it is, that large black dog creature spots Skeeta the same time that you spot it. And you see its head dip low. Skeeta, you see the illusion worked for a brief second, but this thing spotted you. From your angle, Ruby, you see the dog. This thing hesitates for a moment. And then again, the way a racing dog does when it tries to go from 0 to 60 in one footstep, its head dips low, its back sinks down, and it starts to charge off. And we have to pause there because it's our break.
Oh, no!
We're 8 minutes past. Yeah.
No!
So let's pause here. And when we come back, you will all be together, but like separated on the battlefield, as it were, in different areas. There are mortals here that are present. They don't seem to be aware of what's going on, but they did see the door fly open, which interacting with a physical object like that is not typical for a chimera. Sometimes they can do it if they spend glamour. So there's something happening here.
I have a feeling Ruby's gonna get a charge
for
that door.
So we are going to be back in 10 minutes, y'all. Don't go anywhere. Welcome back to the Dream family. We're going to jump right back into where we were leaving off with a big chimerical mutant hellbeast charging after Skeeta. After Skeeta almost successfully ducked away from this thing. However, it did spot her with one success, and now this thing is charging towards her in the crowd. So I'm going to... Yeah.
I was going to say, as it's charging, because I obviously don't want it to go to Skeeta and also mortals. Can I start banging on the lockers to get its attention again?
Okay. You can certainly try. All right. In which case,
I'm gonna start banging on my grandma and your grandma sitting by the fire. And I'm just gonna be banging.
Please don't take us down, Twitch. Yeah. Okay. So then, what I'm gonna say is,
I go.
make a. I'm gonna let you do this one thing, and I'm gonna say roll charisma plus expression again, if you would, please.
Okay.
But the difficulty for this is going to be 9.
Jeez. Okay. All right. Roll.
So you're kind of playing the same trick again. Try to get this thing's attention after it's committed to murder. So go ahead and make your roll.
Are you sure it was an 8?
Let me check my notes here.
Didn't know. I got 1 success.
Yeah, it's a 9. 1 6. How much?
1. I got 1 success.
Okay, let me roll for him. Yeah, that thing does not even hear you. It does not hear you. It is going straight for Skeeta. It
was a good song.
All right, so this is actually going to put us into initiative.
Oh no.
So let's go ahead and kick things off. On that note, I'm going to have everyone here is going to roll a D10, if you would please. And you are going to add your wits plus alertness to that roll.
Okay, wits plus alertness.
And tell me what you get, as we are in a full-fledged fight here. All right, so let me roll. Oh, okay.
I got a 7.
I got a total of 10.
Okay.
I got a 17.
Whew, wow.
Sorry, 16. Apologies, 16.
Okay.
16.
You're very
all right. So that is going to be. So starting off,
because it's It's what you roll on the die plus the pips you have for alertness and wits.
That's
together.
correct.
Yeah. Amazing.
Wow.
Right?
I rolled a
So
10
first-
on the D10, and then I have
Wow.
6 split between the two. Wits
All right.
and alertness, 3 and 3.
Did anybody
nice.
else? Did anybody else roll higher than a 14? Okay. The Hound is going second.
The Hound. Oh no.
Nightmare Hound.
What did everybody else roll? What did you roll, Elisa?
7.
7. Okay. And how about you, Ruby?
I got a 10.
And Holly?
Sam's audio's down. They got a 12.
Oh.
Oh, I got
okay.
an 11.
Oh, okay.
I can't count. I got an 11.
Holly. Okay. And then Ruby.
11.
And then,
I can't count.
okay. And then, yeah. All right. Well, this is easy to rationalize, Skeeta. With you going last basically just states that this thing charging you has literally thrown you off as this thing comes at you. What are you going to do? So just as a quick refresher, the way combat works in Changeling is the person who rolled the lowest initiative actually declares what they are doing first.
Oh, right. I'm going to try to dexterity my way over to like some bushes.
You're going to
and
run?
Try to hide. Yeah.
Okay. Next up is Ruby. What are you doing? Skeeta's going to run.
I am also going to run, but I'm going to run toward it
Okay.
because but what I'm going to shoot. Because there's so many mortals around.
Yeah, but do
Can I
keep in
clarify?
mind.
This might
Yeah.
this might help. To clarify, I'm running. I imagine I'm imagining the school is there, and then
Mhm.
if I'm facing the school from where I'm standing, to my right is where the two rollers are going to come up.
Technically, the school is to your left right now. That's kind of where you kind of blended into the thing because you
Okay.
dashed away from the door and slid into a crowd.
Okay, where are Holly and Aisling coming up? Then?
They're to your right,
what
and they're
direction?
coming down the street right now,
Right.
headed in your direction.
Oh, so I wanted to run in a direction that was kind of like making a triangle between, basically making the Hound run away from where the mortals are, so that we have a point to triangulate on it.
That would be running towards Holly and Aisling.
Yeah.
If you took off in the opposite direction of the school, you would run right past the mortals and head towards your two friends, or you
Is
could
there a
run
way to
straight
run
ahead
parallel?
and run away from everybody.
Is there a way to run parallel from the school? So if the line is like school, mortals, Aisling, and Holly, I run this way.
Right,
Well, I
either
have a
go
question.
straight ahead or go behind. If the door is to the left and we're to the right, straight ahead creates a triangle between
Yeah.
your Holly Skeeta.
Can
That's what
I
I'm
Yes.
thinking.
use
Yeah.
a story point to make something true?
You can when it comes to your turn.
My turn
Yeah.
is next.
Yeah.
Okay.
So-
So yeah, I just wanted to clarify. That's how I'd like to run.
Yes.
So, that,
So straight ahead of you is what looks like sort of a grassy hill that slopes down to the sidewalk, and then there's the street.
okay. What's in the other
Can
direction
I-
behind me?
Can I
So
say
behind
something
you
about-
is the
oh,
parking lot. So the parking lot's right behind you. The road that the school is on is in front of you. To the left is the school
I want-
itself. The double
I
doors.
wanna
To the
go to
right
the-
is the direction your friends are coming from.
I want to go to the parking lot.
Okay, so that's
If this
directly
thing is
behind
following
you.
Me, yeah. If this thing's following
Okay.
me, I want to draw it into the parking lot.
Can I say
Okay,
something
that's
about
easy.
the-
Yeah,
can
you
I
can
say
dash past them
something
and,
about
and rush.
Sorry. Can I say something about school that also is true about the school?
What's that?
Eric? That there's a playground where they have recess and like.
Oh yeah, you don't have to spend a
Did
story
it-
point for that.
No, I know, but okay.
Yeah,
But
no,
I was
this
like
is
trying
this-
to make it to where it was in the vicinity. The playground was in the vicinity.
Oh yeah, I mean, if Skeeta's running backwards, she's effectively running back onto the school ground where the parking
Right.
lot is.
Cool.
On the other side of that parking lot is going to be a chain link fence where there is a playground.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Now we're about to have some fun.
So running towards playground.
Yep.
Or parking
Well,
lot.
Parking
Parking lot. Yeah. We'll see if we get to the yeah. All right. So what are you doing now, Ruby? What is your intention?
I am gonna actually start running towards the playground because
Okay.
there's the gymnasium there and the monkey bars and basically all kinds of
That's on the other side of the parking lot. So you're basically running the
Yeah.
same direction as Skeeta.
I see
So,
where
like-
Skeeta's
So
going. I'm gonna
Skeeta's
start doing
running,
it too.
dog is chasing, you're chasing
I'm
dog.
basically, yeah, this is very much a Scooby-Doo episode, but I'm gonna
Right.
be running, but also making kind of noise to like maybe get its attention so it follows me, because I'm thinking to myself, if I can get to the playground where I can get higher ground and like use some of my fun balance skills, I would have an advantage over like attacking, and also like it can't climb me, although it did get through the door.
So
Yeah, we
you,
don't know.
if you tried, so I'll go ahead and tell you now that if you attempt to make noise again, it is going to continue to become even harder than before because you have failed 2 rolls against it, or you would have failed 2 rolls against it.
What if I
you
throw my
had-
pencil at it?
Then you will be down 1 pencil.
I got some more in my hair. I got like 4.
I believe in
But-
you. But you can, I'm not saying you can't try it, but just so you know, the more you try the same tactic to get the animal off of Skeeta, the less likely it is to work unless you switch it
Ooh,
up
what
somehow
if I
or try
bend down-
something new.
Bend down and grab a rock and throw a rock at it, and then run towards the playground.
I mean, yeah, you could make a melee. That's basically a ranged
That's
attack.
really- yeah, I want to do that.
So yeah, if you want to say, in which case, yes, I would say if you wanted to spend a story point, you can make it true that there is a nice fist-sized stone that maybe is laying in the corner. Just maybe it's a piece of. Actually, we could just say it's a piece of the sidewalk that's kind of loose, like a small sliver of sidewalk that happens all the time. It's cracked loose. You could, if you want to spend a story point, I could say you scoop down and pick that up, and we could turn that into a bashing weapon that you could throw.
This is where our tax money goes.
Okay, so you're gonna scoop up weapon. Okay, so is that what your
Sidewalk.
plan is then?
Yep, and I'm gonna, because I want
Okay.
it to stop chasing Skeeta.
So I do want to keep in mind, just because we're getting used to the new initiative rules, you are going next to last. And the reason why you're telling me what you're doing is because everyone gets to react to what your plan is going to be, including the dog. However, the dog's plan right now seems to be just kill Skeeta.
Yep.
So I just wanted to give you a heads up. So no one. Okay, so throwing. Okay, cool. But it's a good thing. Okay, so if you're going to spend that story point, this story point comes to you on behalf of Wraith.
Yay! Thank you, Ray.
Thank you, Wraith, for that story point, Super Punk. That's going to come in handy. There will be a piece of sidewalk available for you to use that snazzy merit you've got. Next up is Holly. Then, what are you going to be doing, Holly?
Oh shoot. Oh gosh. I was really hoping. Well, I guess since I will be going after Aisling, maybe I will know things. Courtesy, Aisling.
How are we gonna? How far are we with respect to like how close could I get up to the nightmare?
So to keep this from getting purely chaotic and going into like the realm of Forbidden Lands range categories, instead, what I'm going to say is because y'all are mobile on wheels and you've been moving quickly towards the school, I'm going to say that in this round of combat, you will be able to move in and engage if you so choose. Because while everyone else is on foot, you and Aisling are on wheels. So you're moving a lot easier than everybody else. I've seen it in action. I can tell you now, Sam Delev can clear space and enter a combat a lot faster than you can on your feet.
I'm not a sprinter. You're just not gonna outlast me.
I've just been behind you at Comic-Con.
So yes, if
Ruby is going to be attempting to attract attention, I will not focus on doing that.
Okay.
Or actually, you know what? Perfect. Yes, exactly. I'm going to move up to it on the angle that interposes toward Skeeta. Flare my fins and get scary and predatorial, fishy.
Okay. That might be tricky to do because it's going to go second, and it is. I guess it really depends on what Aisling is going to do. That's actually true. If your plan is to do that, then it will depend on how Aisling engages it, because it's going to get to declare its action next in response to what all of you are doing. But Aisling can probably stop this thing in its tracks. So you're going to do spook. You're going to spook this thing. Okay, Hound. His action is the Hound is going to move it in. There is very small chance Skeeta is going to outrun this thing. If you can't imagine, it is a large canine-like creature. It is clearing the distance terrifyingly fast. It's right out of a horror movie. This thing is on Skeeta's ankles. It is.
I like
okay,
horror movies.
Chase, kill. All right, so its intention is to move up and lunge and attack Skeeta.
Yes.
All right, so Aisling, you're the one. You've got initiative. You are going first. What are you doing?
Do you want me to declare it or pretend like it's that like
you can do both because you are going first, so you can declare and go.
Normally,
just
I
was going to say, just like Holly, you're going to be, because you're on wheels, you're going to be able to clear the distance and get up there. So go ahead.
So normally, I think for using her arts, she would start with doing bunks, but considering there is a dire situation, I think she's going straight for using her magics, and is going to be attempting her naming arts.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yes. So how do I go about this? This is my first time using magic.
Yeah, your first time using magic. So the way this works
tell you what my
is
intent. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, tell me what you're planning on doing.
Okay,
because that's going to help me determine.
Aisling, you see the like teenage part of her take over as she starts pedaling her foot as hard as she can and sort of comes to a sort of does a dramatic with her little scooter next to these adult, not as close as time allows, but sort of skeeters off to the side to like hop off of her scooter. And drops down onto her knees like you would greet an animal, and starts whispering its nickname that she is giving it.
Oh, nice. Okay. So you're using, that's so, man, I love changeling magic so much. It's so cool. So you're using naming.
Yeah. Specifically the nickname art.
Okay. And that's level 1. Is that right?
It's 2.
It's 2.
Level 2.
Okay. So then here's the tricky part. So you're going to be using this, and so what realms are you using? So it is a chimerical creature. So you're probably going to need to use.
Would this be Fae?
Mm-hmm. This would be Fae, because anything that interacts with. Yeah, anything that interacts. Oh, actually, I have a nice little cheat sheet right here. So. You're using naming.
Mm-hmm.
So, okay. So this is going to be, so here's the realms you're going to need to do this.
Okay. Would it be Fae and Seen?
Ooh, interesting. I think I'm going to say it is Fae. No, I don't think it would be Seen, because you're not trying to, you're just targeting it. Let's see. I'm going to say this is going to be Fae. Oh, okay. So Chimera included both chimerical creatures and wholly chimerical objects. So it's going to be Fae 3.
I have 3 pips.
Oh, shit. Then yes, you can use Fae 3 and your rating and naming.
Okay.
Which is
2.
At least 2. Okay, yeah. So it's 2. So you're going to roll a total of 5 dice. Now here's where it gets tricky.
Okay.
Because you're not using a bunk, it is just a straight up roll of, it's going to cost you, using it chimerically. So this actually doesn't cost you any glamour to use because you're affecting a chimerical object.
Yay!
So you don't have to call upon the weird or anything like that. So you can just use this without having to burn glamour. That's the good news. The bad news is that because you are trying to use this rapidly, the way you are you're fighting against the banality rating of the area you're in. So the difficulty on this is a flat 8 on D10s.
Meaning I need at least an 8.
You need at least 1 8 to hit this. And what that's going to do, so reading the nick, so everybody who's listening at home, as Aisling is casting this magic, first of all, I'm going to, actually, you know what though?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to give you a +1 because you described you casting the magic and what you're using it for. So
Okay.
I'm going to give you I'm going to drop the difficulty because the rules of changing the dreaming specifically say that definitely counts as a bunk. It's supposed to encourage players to use their imaginations to describe what's happening so that everyone can experience the magic being cast. So at plus, I'll drop it from 8 to a 7. So to describe to everybody what Gina's character is doing right now, there's an ability called Nickname. And it reads like this. Before Changeling develops the talent of discernment needed to uncovering true names, she learns to apply the more cursory label to something or someone. The effect fades over time, but the target's identity wraps and bends around the nickname provided by the Changeling. While the cantrip stays in place, everyone around the focus of the cantrip sees them through the lens of that nickname. A knocker begins calling her mother-in-law Warthog, and the poor woman begins to snort when she laughs. After an arrogant she stole her girlfriend, the jilted Pisky names her ex Stilts, causing her people to see her long, beautiful legs as too long and kind of unusual. So the realm determines the nickname you're going to give it. Okay. So, all right. So a car nicknamed Clunker doesn't start reliably and sputters when it gets out of the road. An impressive Magnum revolver nicknamed Pea Shooter fires bullets that barely break the skin. That's so powerful. That's amazing. Okay, so go ahead and make your roll. The difficulty is 7.
Okay. I rolled it, and I'll tell you what I do. Okay.
Sure,
So,
yeah. How many successes did you get?
4.
4?
Yeah.
Oh, 4. That's... does it get a resist? It does not get a resist. If it's applied to a change, or a sentient creature, the target cannot regain willpower unless you act in accordance with the nickname. The number of successes determines. Okay. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, so Aisling starts crawling on all fours, kind of making cooing and come here.
You just
yeah, but obviously you can't hear anything. You can just see that that's the mouth that the shape her mouth is doing is little kisses, little fishy kisses. And she zones in on locking eyes with this dog as it's running towards her friend. And she's aware that there are mortals there. So she just whispers this creature's new name and says, "Oh, shy guy, you mustn't be out here all alone in front of all these people. Shy guy, you know you're much too sensitive for that.
Okay.
Much too shy."
Nobody in the vicinity knows what the hell Aisling just said, but everyone can feel the ripple of glamour emanate from around Aisling as she begins to mutter something. The Sluagh says something in that typical soft whisper voice. It's impossible to hear unless you were near Aisling when they're talking. She goes from her razor scooter, throwing it to the ground, and then dropping to all fours and whispering at the animal as it is a good 30 to 40 feet in front of her. There's no reason in the world to believe that what she is doing is going to have any kind of effect. The mortals also kind of look in her direction, almost like they just witnessed somebody fall off the razor scooter, unaware that what's actually happening is the power of the dreaming is answering the call of the Sluagh that whispers this into the air. About halfway through the jog, on its turn, this chimerical hell beast creature slides to a stop the way a dog might when it realizes it just got in trouble with its owner and its tail goes between its legs and mid-run, sits as it slides to a stop and his head dips low, and immediately scampers in between the nearest pair of cars.
That should give us a few moments.
Actually, with 4 successes, Gina, that gives you 1 month.
Oh!
You have tamed this thing.
For an entire month. This creature. You're lucky it's not sentient. It doesn't behave in a sentient manner. However, it is for 1 month. It is a shy hell beast that doesn't want to be seen. And it scampers between the 2 cars, making a demonic version of a whimpering noise. And it kind of scampers between the cars. And just like right as this is happening, I mean, everything else that you all described was all in the process of taking place, and you do have the option of following through on it if you want to. So the hound, on its action, I had written down chase and kill, but on its action is going to forfeit its action for the round, and because it changes its direction, and instead that's what it's going to do. It's still visible to all of you. It hasn't hidden yet, but it is scampering between the cars. Next up is Holly. Otherwise, unless y'all want to do anything, combat just ended abruptly as the Sluaw was like, nope, you're shy. The power of Nick. Oh, we have to make an adjustment though.
Yes.
Nickname is a powerful art. Naming is powerful. And it says at the bottom of nickname, the type is weird, which means it has to call upon the power of the weird to use. So you do have to spend a point of glamour to use this.
No problem.
Yeah. Otherwise, everything else functions perfectly, which actually ties in because everyone saw you do this.
Yeah.
This happened in the autumn world, and the sheer power of the dreaming backed up what you said and rewrote this chimerical creature's narrative. And it is now Shy Guy.
Mm-hmm.
The Hellhound.
Oh man.
What are the rest of y'all doing?
Who's next?
I think I
mean, we're out of combat unless y'all want to still fight it. Yeah.
I would like to use my turn
Mm-hmm. You would be next.
to get Ashling's scooter
Uh-huh.
for her
Okay.
and bring it
Just
to her.
Swoop
you.
down with one arm and just.
This is my initiative action.
Okay.
Since, you know, yeah.
I mean, technically, you would have to abort your action for the round because you already declared what you were doing. So if this was still combat, then this would be a whole different set of rules of like, I'm changing my mind and it costs something. But here
Unless saying it as a goof.
Sure, this is an opportunity to explain a rule about how combat works since you are describing your actions beforehand. So, what do you guys do? You see, so right now the mortals are reacting to this because they see, first of all, they see a temporary member of the faculty screaming and running over and scooping up a piece of rock, a piece of the sidewalk. And about the same time, you've dashed into the parking lot. Keep in mind, the mists that inhabit mortals' minds, they're rationalizing everything that they're seeing right now. So even though they see you behaving kind of oddly, they just kind of go back to their business.
If they make any eye contact as Hallie is bringing my scooter back, I'm just going to sort of not make eye contact, but look at their nose, which Aisling does very frequently, and just goes, "Ow." Like she fell.
One of the mortals does say, are you okay?
Did Ainsling run past me at all?
No, they're about to. They're just a few feet behind you.
Okay. But as like one of the faculty like said ow, or like and I see them on the ground, on the ground, I'm gonna the piece of sidewalk that I'm holding, I'm like, and this is why we need to fix the sidewalk at the school. And I bring it back over to where I found it, and I was like, and that is why I was angry. And I'm like putting it back in the hole that was in there, and I was like take a marker out of my hair and put like a big like X marks the spot on it, and it's like no one's tripping on that today. You know,
you pull the marker out of your hand and actually discover it is a very fine, very familiar looking, very expensive looking pen.
That one back.
Put that one right back.
Put out the other, the Sharpie, my, as I would like to call it, magic marker. Ooh.
Okay.
Okay. Put a giant X on the rock and be like, no one's tripping on that today. Not on my watch, for I am A substitutator.
Okay, Ruby, one of them says. A few of them kind of laugh gently as they begin to walk to their cars, completely oblivious to the animal that's almost 5 feet to the shoulder, creeping between the cars.
What is that?
I walk over to Holly and Aisling and also Ruby, and I say, I don't know, but it looks like it's been tamed. What do we do with it?
Only for about a month.
A month?
It's going to be quite shy. Maybe I should have said something more sweet. But it's all I could think of. Wanting it to
No,
hide.
this is good. You did great.
Thanks.
So what do we do with this thing for a month?
I don't know if my apartment will allow pets or if it'll be keen to even get near any of us.
Do we want it to?
No.
No, probably not. It's
Why
probably
is
still
it-
dangerous.
Oh, it's an
May
Indian. Okay.
May I make like a grammary roll?
Yes. I just realized I'm kind of being liberal with my interpretation of nickname. I'm seeing the limitations of it right now. I don't. I think it's fine to stick with what we've done though. I'm totally fine with it. I just realized the effects are on an inanimate object, and nicknaming forces other people to see it that way. It doesn't actually change it unless it's an inanimate object. I'm totally fine though.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'm totally fine though, just keeping it like this and just running with it because this has been a lot of fun. So
Okay,
I'm
cool.
totally so we'll just say for now this nickname has for whatever reason the sympathetic magics of the dreaming have come into play here as we continue to sort of scrape the rust off and play Changeling the Dreaming. So let's just keep moving forward. But yes, we'll say Aisling's
So
magic has
moving
worked for a month.
forward, chimerical can be considered people.
Yeah,
the
well,
same
so
way.
the way it works is if it's an inanimate object, then it has the effect of like a gun. It only shoots like pea shooters and stuff like that.
Sure.
If it is a person or even a stranger, they will start unconsciously referring to something or seeing it through the lens of the nickname that you've given it. So if say somebody had like bags under their eyes and you were like, I'm gonna call you Holly Fairskin, and you always just have such lovely eyes and whatever, then everybody who looked at Holly would never see the bags. They would just be like, oh my gosh, Holly's skin is so fair and blah blah blah. Like they would see through the eyes of the lens, the nickname that you gave them, and they would just go along with it.
Ooh, do me next. Do me. Give me one.
But it does make people snort if they laugh. That's an interesting interesting.
That's because they have. That's because so if it fades over time, but the person's identity will wrap and bend around it. So the effect fades over time, but the target's identity wraps and bends around the nickname provided by the changeling. While the cantrip stays in place, everyone around the focus of the cantrip will see them through that lens. So that person may not actually be snort laughing, but everyone would hear that person snort laugh. Do you know what I'm saying?
Got it.
It sounds like a warthog. Even though, like, what did I do? I didn't do anything. Like, why are they calling me that? It's because you've nicknamed them that. And so that's how everyone engages with them. It's like pointing at somebody and say, they wet their pants, even though they may have just spilled water on it or whatever. But now for the next month, they'll be known as the person who peed their pants kind of deal.
Just wanted you all to know that I've actually never laugh snorted ever. And this was all just a changeling nicknaming me years ago.
Holy shit.
That's a lot of successes.
That's a lot of successes.
Throw that out there.
Somebody scored a lot more than 5 successes on you, Bonnie. All right.
It's an ongoing nickname. All right.
Yeah. All right. So what do y'all do?
Grammary?
Okay, so you are using that to try to figure out what the hell this is and what's going on?
Yeah.
Okay.
I assume I can't really know what this one specifically is. This does seem like, kind of a land-flavored nightmare, but I might be able to just, like, off what I know more generally about magic.
I can try to assist.
Yeah, I was
If you
going to
want
say
to
I'd
take
like
point, I would be happy to.
I'd like
Yeah?
to give it another try now that I see it instead of that picture.
Well, since you're all making the same roll, I would suggest you all come together and
Let's
do
come together. Let's
an
brainstorm.
assist.
Right
and
now.
yeah, basically put your heads together and be like, so what do you think it is? Kind of.
Hey,
Yes.
huddle.
Yeah, let's do it.
All right.
Do you,
so
do you have any specialties in how do you say grammary? Grammary?
Grammary.
Grammari.
Grammari.
yeah.
Okay.
I
have
do not,
specialties?
but
Okay.
I have 3 dots in it.
Okay.
But I don't have a specialty.
No worries. The specialty I took for grammary is fairy lore.
Interesting. That might reveal something here.
That's very
Okay.
practical.
Mm-hmm.
So how do we assist?
Yeah. How do we pool together?
All right. So right now I'm going to keep this pretty simple. Let me pull this up here because, again, this is scraping the rust off. So if anybody is interested in learning how to play in the Changeling Dreaming, for the first chapters of this chronicle, you're probably going to watch us also learn how to do the stuff as we play. So in this case, we're going to pull open. Okay, so difficulties, complications, times, accept your tempers, not but combat. Okay, so dramatic systems. Here we go. All right, so pursuit. Oh, we were about to roll the pursuit rolls too. I was getting really excited. I love a good chase scene.
Sorry.
Yeah, messed that one up. Thanks a lot, Gina.
Please
Oh,
keep
I'm sure we'll
ruining
have more.
everything. Thank you.
Please continue destroying Eric's plans, invoking the weird reverie. Oh, we know that sucks. Let's see. Oaths. Okay, so what I think I'm going to do here, just to keep this simple, and so we won't keep digging into the book at the moment, but what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have one of you pick who wants to be the lead onto rolling on this.
Gina.
Okay.
Or Sam.
That's probably
no, Gina.
If it's Gina, then Gina, I'll let Gina activate the specialty
Okay.
Yeah.
here. And then I'll add, you can gain, I'm going to say up to 3 people. So I would say you've got a +2 die bonus to this.
Okay.
And this is really, it's going to be a standard. There's nothing particularly unusual. I would say standard difficulty of 6 on this.
Okay. So
And
would I
what's
be
your
rolling
specialty again?
fairy lore?
Fairy lore. Yes, that would absolutely apply here.
Okay. I would love some help from Skeeta and Hallie.
So
Since they were the ones that showed interest in this knowledge stat.
I know exactly what it is.
The Slua's eyes don't even acknowledge that.
You don't. You just keep talking as
No, she doesn't keep talking. She like disappears. Like her eyes glaze over as she starts thinking and becomes incredibly introspective.
That's fair. I'll just like be muttering to myself. I mean, people just assume I'm not a dog person, so whatever. And as I look at Pipsqueak, just like pet him to calm him down.
I thought it was fox person.
Am I using an attribute with it? Is there a mental?
Yeah, it's gonna be intelligence.
Intelligence. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then I get a +2. Is that 2
Plus
dice,
2 dice.
or just a 2 dice? Okay.
+2 dice. Mm-hmm.
Great. Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. Okay.
That is probably an impressive dice pool you're about to roll.
Yes, it is. And what is the difficulty?
Difficulty 6. It's standard difficulty. So you need a 6 or better.
Okay. I rolled a 7.
Okay, that is an outstanding. That's like rolling a nat 20.
Yeah.
That's 5 or better is like rolling a nat 20 in this game. So you basically get an outstanding success. So not only
anything that you're about to say that we learn is you all are feeding information into Ashling's ears of everything you know, everything you've seen, everything, and then her mouth just opens, and she is not moving her mouth, but the whispered regurgitation of information flows out of her like you'd almost see music notes flowing out of her if she was a cartoon, as she just gets to unleash storytelling, which is just what she loves, and just starts spewing all of the information that we're about to hear to all of you.
I knew all of this, but whatever.
Why didn't you say something?
I tried. Nobody listens to me.
Which is
I
awesome.
always listen to you.
Good job.
Between Skeeta offering up what she knows and Holly offering up what they know, you're sitting there listening back, and as you said, pitching this, kind of mouthing it out loud and working through it, glancing back at the hell beast creature that constantly is peeking out from behind the cars and then slinking back in. Your gaze stays on it for a minute, and you blurt out what it is. This is someone's forgotten chimerical companion. An abandoned chimerical companion that is probably converted or turned into a nightmare for some reason. This is it's classified. Changelings and the Kithane classify creatures like this as feral nightmares, which are usually like bestial. They're not always aggressive and evil, but they can be very dangerous. This one actually does have the ability to affect and interact with the world. It has 2 abilities. With 5 successes, you're pretty much going to get the lowdown on what it is.
7.
7 successes. So with this creature, it has 2 abilities. One of them is a fear-based attack, which sends everyone into a frenzy of horror. And it is a difficulty 8 willpower attack, so it is not friendly. If it had gotten a chance to use it, it would have terrified everybody. But the more dangerous aspect is that it has the ability to enchant mortals by spending glamour and can attack mortals. Mortals would be able to see it and be attacked. Now, the damage from these creatures, however, is still chimerical. So a mortal would probably wake up with haunting visions of having a terrible nightmare, but no, why am I on the ground? However, 30 minutes before, they were being mauled by a nightmare dog and dying. But the mists would have immediately corrected that. But they can, for example, this is at an elementary school. It was possible that if this thing came stalking through the halls, the kids could have seen it. Like this is definitely a nightmare creature, but everything about it, and it looks like you're seeing all the telltale signs of what looks like somebody had an imaginary dog friend, and it has become this dark nightmare thing.
I'm saying this and I'm snuggling Kit so close and whispering into Kit's prayer. I would never. I love you. You'll be taken care of. I always remember you. You're a good baby.
Yeah, my hand protectively goes onto the top of Pipsqueak's head.
Pipsqueak has not stopped being terrified, and his hair is standing up on end like a cartoon character. As you reach down to like touch him, Pipsqueak just squeezes your leg even harder.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna, yep. I've lost feeling in my right foot.
Yeah, there is little bitty tiger claws digging into your skin right now as it's just gripped onto you.
I don't mind.
But the 3 of you manage to piece it together. And then Aisling says it all out loud.
Can we help it?
With 7 successes, I can answer that. It is a non-sentient manifestation of a nightmare at this point. So this is a dream thing at this point. It's very unusual to encounter one that has lost the person it was attached to, but you better than anyone, Aisling, know that sometimes nightmares are born from traumatic events. Could be like getting scared in the middle of the night, or like nearly getting hit by a car or something like that. This could be the result of someone going through their chrysalis years ago, and it was born from that. It's hard to say, but this was probably someone's companion, and it has since been, it is a non-sentient like dream construct of a demon dog at this point.
So does that mean it's beyond, it can't turn back to what it was?
Yeah, there's nothing to turn back to. It simply is a nightmare. It is not a creature that necessarily is something that can be saved or salvationed, as it were. Instead, what you were looking at is a nightmare manifestation of someone's worst dream. It may have, the companion that it was is long gone now. It is not the thing anymore.
I can see Sam trying hard to fix, like, I must fix, must be friends, must find loophole.
It's connected. Its existence is connected to the manifestation of what created it. So if you were trying to turn it into something else, it would be unmade.
Mm.
Oh, you're muted, Gina.
Apologies. Then I think after a long beat, Aisling, very matter-of-factly looks up at you, Hallie, and just says, "Sometimes nightmares don't need to be fixed. They just need to be written down in a journal and then forgotten, or burned, or thrown in the water, or ritually sacrificed. Not the dog, I mean the book. Have you ever had a dream journal?"
Why do you put them in a journal? You sing about them.
You sing about your dreams?
How else would everyone share them?
Well, then maybe that's what we need to do. Share that dream, and maybe it'll no longer need to cling to this plane.
It'll wake up.
Maybe. Shall we try?
I'd like.
Pipsqueak is being very vocal right now.
Yeah, Pipsqueak is like, try!
Yeah. Get rid of it!
Yeah, but I'd like to move up a little bit to see if I can bring Shy Guy out.
It is an amalgam of behavior, because as you move up a little bit, you see a nightmare that is instinct is to destroy, and it is being made to behave in a shy manner. So you see the behaviors of like a creature that kind of paces back and forth, but as you look at it, it turns away. But at the same time, it's baring its teeth, like it's fighting against the magic that's bound it, but it seems to be compelled to be shy as you approach it.
Can I try using calming presence again? Since it worked last time.
You can try it again, but it's like constantly trying to pick a lock. Every time you fail, it's going to get harder and harder and harder until you can't try anymore.
I succeeded. I know what you mean.
That's true. Yeah. But like you've used it once before. You could try it again. I'm not going to raise the difficulty.
It's okay.
But yeah.
I was just going to.
I mean, I could. I'm trying to at least sort of go for maybe appearance animal ken. If we feel good
it's
for
not
that.
going to. It's not going to respond to animal kin, unfortunately.
Okay, that was the role that there was earlier, so I wasn't sure.
Yeah, that was a mistake on my part. It's
okay,
not an animal. Yeah.
Okay, then what would be the ability associated?
So this might be, I might say this would be, if you're trying to interact with it, it would be an appearance. If you want to use your appearance roll, then it would be appearance expression.
Okay, those are the same roll.
Okay,
me.
Cool.
Would you say this counts as a charm, actually?
Probably, because you're trying to basically placate it, right?
Yeah, that activates my specialization then.
Okay.
Cool.
Do the thing.
Okay. Let's see. 9, 10.
It is weird to see this hell beast right now because it's behaving. It's giving all this aggressive. Also, the way it's moving. Again, it's a nightmare. So when it takes a step or moves around, it looks like the way nightmares do in your sleep. Like you skip steps from time to time when you're having nightmares about evil monsters chasing you. All you know is they're coming up on you and they're just there suddenly. So when this thing moves, you're not seeing every individual footfall. It's just gliding around like a blur. And then when it stops, you can see the detail that's scary. And then it moves again. Go ahead and make your roll.
What was the difficulty? I'm sorry.
The difficulty for this is going to be 7.
Okay, cool. Then it's 4.
4 successes. And what were you trying to do with this specifically? Just placate?
Yeah.
your appearance doesn't seem when you approach it, as you wheel over to it and this creature dips its head low, two things become apparent to you as you manage to sort of ease up on it. First of all, Holly, you get the impression that this is indeed a fragmented nightmare of somebody's, a manifestation of someone's terror, or it could be a lot of people's terrors. There was probably kids here at the school that had a nightmare about their dog like biting at them, or maybe they had just a negative experience at some point because they were pulling on a dog's ear when they were very, very young and shouldn't have been, and the dog snapped at them and they had dreams about it that night. And anything could be the reason why it's manifested this way. As you move up on it, using your presence, it doesn't seem to perceive you so much as a threat, or maybe not so much as a thing to destroy. So the aggression kind of dips away. It's still acting shy, but it's not like, it's not snarling or anything. And instead, what you see is this strange nightmarish quadruped that's just slithering, like lurking back and forth between the cars, like some kind of large shadowy dog with, again, this carapace along its back.
I move closer as I look back, and Skeeta, what do you do after you have a bad nightmare? How do you make yourself feel better?
I don't know. What do? I get up out of bed, and if it's still nighttime, I'll go outside and listen to the waves crash.
Okay. Aisling closes her ear or closes her eyes, and takes kneels down next to Hallie and kind of gestures and takes a deep breath and listens to the ocean and tries to calm. What about you, Ruby?
Well, if I'm having trouble sleeping with nightmares, I usually drink a nice warm glass of milk, but I'm also lactose intolerant, so it gives me explosive diarrhea.
Every group needs a Sam Riegel.
But we have better. We have a Bonnie.
We have a Bonnie Gordon. You upgrade, you know? It's a...
I look up at Hallie, not sure how to interpret that one for this people.
Yeah, it's a record scratch moment. We're like, oh.
I'll just put my arm on your shoulder and go, you can skip the last bit.
Oh. A snack.
Milk?
Okay,
Yeah.
a snack. Can I have a story point that I spend a story point that I still have some of the bread from earlier?
Liski 2, you just gave Aisling a story point.
Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. You pull out a piece of bread that you managed to keep from the restaurant. You're like, I'm glad I brought this.
I toss it to Shy Guy.
Okay.
Toss a roll to your Witcher.
All right. You toss this piece of bread, just hits the ground, and the nightmare creature doesn't even react to it. Its eyes are locked on Holly.
Doesn't matter. The sentiment's the same. A snack was given.
I'll pick up the bread
Okay.
and open-handed move it toward the nightmare.
Tell it a story, Hallie.
I got plenty if you need one.
I remember seeing a dog like you from the water. It was on the sand, and it wasn't as dark as you are. It was the color of the stuff that Gira had on top of the pink berry, which doesn't taste as good as this. And the dog ran on the sand after this bright pink disc that floated
in the air. And then the dog would hopscotch, and it would catch the disc. Even though it could fly, the dog could fly too. And then the dog would bring it back to the land walker. And then the land walker made it fly again, over and over and over and over. And I watched, and that was the first day that I saw the girl on the beach. Do you want to try this?
Do you have any arts or anything that you could use here?
I have a really weird one.
Yeah.
I
What do you
don't
got?
think this literally.
We can play with it.
We talked about getting a nightmare to wake up, right?
Mm-hmm.
I have awaken.
So, what is that specifically?
Oh.
It is, it's spring 1.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay.
And one of the things that massive changeling slumbers in the near dreaming, but the suitor must rouse it and beg for help. It's literally maybe not, but poetically maybe.
Awakening from slumber. Literally is the line. Awakening from slumber. New life, a sprouting seed at the heart of spring, is the promise of beginning and awakening from dormancy or slumber.
Accordingly, she and Susie just crops.
That's
begin to grow the season. A massive
amazing.
chimera slumbers in the near dreaming, but Satyr must rouse it to beg for its help. Awakening. Awaken gives new energy to the target, as determined by the realm. Anything that is dormant or frozen will return. Anything barren or void becomes home of a new spark of life. The specific effect depends entirely on the realm that's used and the context when it's cast. But Awaken's primary function is to rouse anything inert. The number of successes determines how powerful the effect is. One success would be enough to start an old car rusting in an abandoned shed, while 5 successes might be required to counter the effects of stasis, which is a winter effect. It is both chimerical or weird, so you could use this without spending glamour. And this is one of those cool things about Changeling the Dreaming, where they deliberately gave you a guide on how this works, but didn't write down a definitive rule so that you as the group can determine how this magic manifests and is it in the spirit of that ability. Now, here's where I'm at with this. As traditionally as I know to play Changeling, nightmare creatures like this are essentially dreamlike constructs. You're talking to the a broken piece of glass that is formed into a thing that terrifies you as a child. However, your storyteller, Eric, my imaginary friend when I was a kid was the big bad wolf. And the reason why is because he scared the shit out of me. And if I made nice with him, he wouldn't eat me. So I was always talking him down. He had a very bad temper. I was always talking him down. Awaken is, again, like Sam said, this is like, eh? However, the scene that is being set up right now and what you all are attempting to do is 110% Changeling the Dreaming shit. What you're trying to do is absolutely in line. And even though the rules will tell you things like, no, this is a nightmare creature. This is not, you're fighting a cartoon. Like, this is a shadow of a thing. You're not fighting an actual hellhound. This is someone's terror of what a hellhound would look like if it was real, kind of thing. However, Changeling also states that when players do things like this, fucking do it. Because it tells a great story. And right now, the lot of you have turned all of your attentions on taking this manifestation of some child's fear that has been abandoned, their chimerical creature, and you're trying to manifest it into a being that is not nightmarish. You're trying to manifest this thing into something completely different rather than destroy it. I cannot think of anything more StreamPunks than that. You are going to salve the hell out of this thing. So we're going to have you...
I'm gonna say, like, under my breath, like, it's like my mom always says, someone's terror is another one's treasure.
I like to say that too.
In which case, this is going to be Fae 3. And I might just leave it at that.
Weird question. Since this
What's
was a
up?
group ritual, do we all get to assist in this?
You don't, but I'm going to count what y'all are doing as a bunk.
Okay.
So it's going to be Fae 3 and...
What does Fae 3 mean in this context?
So that in order to affect Chimera, it has to be, you have to use the realm of Fae.
Right.
That's what your magic is going to affect.
Right.
This is a chimerical creature, so it's Fae 3. Now, I don't think time would come into play here because there's really no, because according to the book that the art that we just read, this can make cars start working. This can make crops grow. So I don't see it being attached to time limits here. So I don't think the realm of time is going to be needed here, which is good because that would have raised the difficulty by 1 immediately because you're literally warping time. So instead, I'm just going to make this, you're just affecting a chimerical creature. I'm going to just say this is Fae 3 and your spring art. So what's your spring rating?
1.
1. So you're going to roll 4 dice. Now, the difficulty normally would be 8. It's baselined at 8 because every time you're using Fae magic, you are pushing back against the general disbelief of the world. Banality is everywhere, even here, sadly, on a playground where children run and laugh and play tag. They are not here right now. And instead, you're surrounded by cars that are parked. However, all 3 of you are trying to achieve this thing. I'm going to say that is... I'm going to say that is a -2 to the difficulty. I'll give that a power 2 level bunk. So I'll drop it from 8 to 6.
Hey, Eric?
Yes?
I made a LAN party joke last episode.
Yes, you did.
You know
and
what
I
you
did
told
tell you
me?
you could bank that. I told you you could bank that. That's right. Thank you for reminding me. I
Bank
said
the
you made a
monk,
funny...
bank the monk. I'm freaking banking it.
That's right. As according to the rules, you made a land party joke, and I told you that I let you bank that bunk for an additional, so I will drop it to 5.
And yeah.
Nicely
normally I would
done.
just
Take
roll
notes.
on that. But because this is a StreamPunksy thing, can I use a story point? Because I just want our dreamers in on this.
All
too.
right.
More
Laura.
conspirators.
Laura, thank you so much for that story point. So for using that story point, I'm going to say you can't, well, you could use this to basically treat it like you have a specialty. So you'll gain an extra dice to the roll and 10s will pop.
Cool.
Make your roll.
You never know if that's good or bad when Sam does that. It's like,
When it comes to puppers, it's good.
Oh
Did you roll another 10?
No, but I rolled 2 10s off the top.
Okay,
That
so
was
that's
the
4
gasp
successes.
and then the second gasp. And a 6 and a 7. So I started with 4, and then I rolled 2 more dice, and I got a 6 and an 8.
The
So
nightmare
that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
6 successes.
Yeah.
Okay. So the changeling magic begins to form as the dreaming responds to Skeeta, and it responds to Ashling, and responds to Ruby, and it's channeled through Holly, who's reaching out to this creature. The nightmare before you begins to die because in its place, something is being born. Those dark chitinous, like armored plates on its back begin to flake away, and literally into the finest powder of dust begin to drift off its back. The lips that were curled up around this thing specifically designed to invoke fear so that you could see the red blood dripping off of the tongue lolling about, the dark tint red to the eyes. This hellhound creature before your very eyes, that jet black coat becomes glossy and the chitin falls away. Those deep tinge to the eyes begin to drift away, and instead become an amalgam of the color of eyes of each of you, blending into blues and greens and lavender colors. You see this animal begin to shift a little bit. Its posture straightens up slightly, and it starts staring, cocking its head to the right, and it cocks its head a little bit as this energy begins to flow into it. The tongue shortens up, but not too much. The blood stops flowing. The lips fold down. And the creature sits back on its hind legs as you just see this like shadowy dark smoke begin to drift off of its body as the dreaming responds to the motley and sculpts forth a new vision of what you saw this creature. As we are sort of doing this together, and because of the effect that's happening and I'm going to ask that everyone spends a point of glamour for this. So if the party is all willing to spend a point of glamour,
Yeah.
that smoky darkness drifts away and the nightmare dies right in front of you. And instead, what you see sitting in its place with the multicolored eyes is a mastiff. A very intelligent looking mastiff that is just kind of sitting on all fours. And after a beat, the mastiff says, "I think I'm naked."
Would you like a sweater? Aisling takes off one of the 30 layers of clothes and offers the cape that's on top to the mastiff.
The mastiff stands up on his hind legs. And you see the front legs kind of fold down and shorten. And he walks over to you and says, "Why, thank you," and takes the sweater. It is, to anybody who would be witnessing such a sudden shift bizarrely, it is pure comical nonsense that you're all seeing. The mastiff puts the sweater on and then goes back down on all fours and sits there and says, "What is my name exactly?"
What do you remember?
Oh, about what?
Oh, about anything. Your existence, for example.
I remember being naked a moment ago. Yep.
Okay.
I do remember that.
Well then,
I look to the namer.
Yeah. Do we keep the name that Aisling?
Well, he doesn't seem
Is-
shy anymore.
That's
He's
true.
no longer naked.
Yeah, naked guy doesn't sound great either.
No.
It's got a ring to it, I suppose. Naked
Not the
guy.
good kind.
Oh.
I think Aisling
take
kind
your
of panics and is not used to giving true names to a thing.
Mhm.
Mhm.
And looks down at the thing that is next to her, and she goes,
Okay.
"How about Scooter?"
Scooter. I like that. It's got sort of an intellectual sound to it. I think I like that. In fact, I think I'll be intellectual. Yes.
You seem very intellectual already.
Thank you. Thank you. The dog just kind of, in a very human fashion, just kind of shrugs a little bit and says, "Please, it's just Mr. Scooter, I think is fine. Or Miss Scooter.
Professor Scooter, can we call you Professor Scooter?
Professor Scooter.
I like it. Professor.
Is that all right?" He looks at you.
Professor Scoot, yes.
Lovely.
Then
name.
I would like to be called Professor Scooter, if that's okay.
Professor
I
Scooter.
like it.
Lovely to make
A
your
lot of-
acquaintance.
It's lovely to make your acquaintance.
Oh,
What are we doing today?
Going to a party.
I've never been to a party. I was only just born a few moments ago. Can I come?
About that, just to clarify, and just kind of ignoring the whole list.
Ruby's like, yeah, about the being born thing.
Yeah, cool. And I look over at Skeeta and be like, "This was not what you meant by party at a school, right? Like, this was not the party that you texted me
No.
about."
No.
Okay, great. I think I should probably get ready for that then too. I feel like I'm not ready for it. You did mention it was a costume party, and I start.
No,
walking
it's not. It's not. It's not a costume party. As you walk away, wear your normal clothes. I don't know if that helps.
I don't actually leave, but I'm just kind of like, I'm kind of just. Ruby's trying to pretend like she's not in shock about what just happened. She's just kind of like playing it cool, like focusing on what's the next thing we had to do. Party, focus on a party is what her mind is going to.
Professor Scooter just says, I hope pants are not a requirement.
Well, we're
I
gonna have
won't
to
be
find out
wearing
if we can bring you. To be honest, just to be practical.
I
I think
understand.
you would look quite striking in a kilt, to be fair.
And in what kind of pant is a kilt? Is it a
flowy
single
kind.
pant?
Skirt.
I see. As the lot of you stand around Professor Scooter, know that on this day, in a rather unconventional fashion, you managed to destroy a nightmare and give birth to a new dream.
Mm-hmm.
The lot of you continue to chat with Professor Scooter as this chimerical creature who has come into being under extraordinary circumstances. What you learn is he has no memory of anything that existed before. He is a manifestation of an old dream made new, and is very pleased to make your acquaintance. And that is where we are going to wrap tonight's game.
I gotta go get my costume ready for the party.
Bonnie never leaves character. Bonnie's like, I'll see y'all later. I'll see y'all next Monday.
Why leave character when you play yourself?
Never underestimate the StreamPunks' desire and need and ability to use the rules to make enemies into friends. Never, ever. There are a lot of rules in place for the creation of chimerical creatures, but nothing will be as powerful as a rule as let the dice decide. But if it's a really fabulous thing to do, give it a chance. You guys managed to turn an abandoned nightmare that was roaming the halls of this school into a brand new
Pretty
chimerical
happy
dreaming
dog.
life form. That's slightly concerned about the fact that his junk is hanging out, but he'll get over that. I'm sure he'll get some
We're
pants
gonna get
going
him
here
a
at some point.
kilt.
Yeah, he'll get him a kilt. Oh, he's gonna look snappy in that kilt. I'm all about the kilts.
I want to get him glasses.
Oh yeah,
Bow tie.
Yes.
so much, so fancy.
And a bow
We got so much.
He's free balling, yeah. He's free balling.
Oh, Bonnie, I'm so glad you're back.
I miss y'all
Um,
too.
All right, let's do some experience points, everybody.
Ready.
Tonight was a good night for y'all. As we wrap up, let's see here. Oh my God, I can't believe you did this. All right, so to start
It was
things
a
off,
puppy dog, Eric.
I know. It's literally, I was literally using the stats for a hellhound, which are known as like, yeah. Everyone gains an automatic point of experience tonight for being a part of the game.
Yay!
I'm going to give everyone an automatic experience point tonight because of role playing. Everyone's role playing was phenomenal tonight, as per usual.
Thank you.
I'm going to award an extra XP to. I'm going to award an extra XP to Bonnie for all of the fabulous stuff you were doing at the top with Ruby and Jazzy, and also the one of my favorite moments of this game has been watching you wrestle with playing a Pooka, and I hope somebody clips it because it was just brilliant. And I want to open the floor for all of you. All of you pick somebody to give an XP to. Who do you want your free XP to go to?
Aliza, because she tried to come and save me first.
Yeah.
And she understood my story of my car that I don't have.
Yeah, like fought through the malaise of like trying to understand what the hell the Pooka was trying to tell her.
We're going to go run errands.
So Aliza gets an XP. Aliza, who do you want to give an XP to?
I want to give an XP to Aisling for just like side swiping this hellhound into submission.
Oh,
With a
actually,
nickname.
thank you for that. Actually, I actually have written in my notes here, give Gina an extra XP for all the
Thank
descriptions you were throwing down for the magics that you were casting and the
you.
flavor casting. Yeah, so gain another one on that one.
Thank you very much.
Aisling, who do you
Yes.
want to give an XP to?
Okay, so I would like to give my XP to Sam for never giving up on having a pupper. Because honestly, my interpretation was waking the dog up would sort of make them dissipate.
I thought so too.
And because of your actions, we got to keep the Professor Scoot, and I'm so happy. But also secondarily, welcome back, Bonnie, and I freaking love your Pooka talk. Like your Pooka talk is so fascinating.
Pooka talk.
It is
good band
so
name.
fascinating to watch because there's so much of you not realizing that you're so naturally doing a Pooka voice that that I think you sometimes go, oh no, I'm doing it wrong. It's like absolutely not. You're freaking nailing it.
You're nailing it.
It's hard.
It's so good.
It's challenging.
It's so
Pookas can be
difficult.
challenging.
Yeah.
Especially
Yeah.
when
difficult.
everyone's asking me direct questions. I'm like,
I know.
maybe just like
But that's the best part. That's the best part when asking a Puka a direct question is the best.
I was like, am I
fucking thing.
helping? Ask
I love
question,
it.
question, question.
Right?
Help.
are you still at school?
Ruby, is this yes or no? Ah! Son of a bitch.
Yes or
Sam.
no questions are the best. Then you know it's the other one.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Sam, who would you like to give your XP to?
I would like to give my experience points to the Pooka, who never, ever, ever stops trying to draw
Didn't stop.
the danger back to her. No
Yep.
matter what. Hey, danger, come here.
Yeah.
I know
What's up,
I
Danger?
have my friends here to help me,
Mhm.
but now that they're here, I actually you can't harm them. I will freak out too much. I will try
Ruby's
over and
evil.
over and over and look, it is very character revealing about Ruby, but it's also character revealing about Bonnie.
No. Well, Ruby's
as part
middle name is Danger.
I believe that.
as part of tonight's game, I'm going to tomorrow, before I post some of my NPC information, I'm going to roll up the chimerical stats tonight and post the stats for Professor Scooter tomorrow on the coffee account. So you guys will be able to check out Professor Scooter. There actually is chimerical creature creation rules. This is going to be a highly unique creature because this is not, rules-wise, this is not how chimerical creatures are created. But also, chimerical creatures can be created just from the dreams of mortals going through moments of shock and alarm. You'll notice that I did have everyone spend a point of glamour. So 4 glamour was used to create this creature from the Fey magic that was happening. So that's how I put it. So well done, everybody. This is an amazing game as per usual. Dreamers, all y'all family, all y'all listening tonight, thank you so much. Changing the Dreaming, as I expected, is manifesting into the game that is one of the most StreamPunk styled games I've ever played with this group. Thank you for making this happen. We will catch you next Monday night. Until then, family, sweet dreams.